Tonight, a man with a face brings us this week's Flight Sim News. We check out two new enhanced sceneries by iniBuilds showing Ibiza and Palm Springs. And we start our first helicopter tutorial. There's not even a hello, Murph. How are you, Murph? You're looking well, Murph. No, old veteran straight in with, does the face go with the mallet head? Hello? Hello. Everybody, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the middle of the week. The halftime show, the Let's Get Over the Hump Day. Welcome to the news. Our first kind of normal news of Flight Sim 2024. Right? Great bunch of lads there in the chat. Yeah. How are you, Murph? You're looking well. Any news? No. Look at you in your mallet head. Anyway, you're all very welcome aboard. Tonight, friends, yes, we're going to bring you this week's Flight Sim news. There's quite a bit of it. And we're going to be checking out two newly released brand enhanced sceneries. And these are coming in from iniBuilds. It shows off Ibiza and also that of Palm Springs. We're going to check out what an enhanced scenery is all about. It's on the screen behind me. Then we're going to kind of dial things up a notch and we're going to be checking out some helicopter flying with a new tutorial series. I'm going to share my settings and how I make the things do what they need to do. And, well, hopefully you can follow suit. Something absolutely hilarious has happened. So, there's something somewhere it got installed. Something from Red Wing Studio, right? Because they do all the, you know, the old 1930s scenery. Something's after getting in somewhere. Jesus. Because the ground vehicles I have. Look! I mean, they're driving old Ford, see? It makes no sense at all. And like there's horses and carts and I don't know what's going on. I need to fix it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, but we'll try and fix it. It's the weirdest looking thing ever. Yes, back in the 1930s, everything appeared to be fine. Jesus. So, I don't know what's going on. Me sim is broken, but we'll fix it. Yes, live demonstration of how to get rid of the thing, doing the yoke with the thing. Right. Anyway, it is Wednesday, the middle of the week. The week is moving fairly fast. We are halfway there. Just saying, you might have heard of something. And, well, did I do anything stupid in the last 24 hours? I did. No, I was well behaved. Do you know, I spent a bit of time yesterday, managed to get my Tobii working, which is huge news. And you can actually go back into your Flight Sim 2020 profile, right? Remember we showed you how to...
Swinger, baby.
Jesus, there's buttons being pressed at an alarming rate. Tango Delta will behave yourself. He just gave... How many was that? 10 gifted tier 1 subs. Did you just see what he did? The man is a legend.
Oh, Jesus.
Or else... Sorry, Marty couldn't get a word in. The bot banned him. Oh, no, well, it didn't. It timed him out. Tango Delta, thank you very, very much indeed. Insane support to start us off. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, you can get your controller profiles from 2020, right? By going the same way that I showed you how to save your profiles. And, well, in there, you'll have your original 2020 profile for your Tobii, if you have a Tobii, which means you can just kind of do a little bit of tweakage to move them across. I've moved them across, and my Tobii is working. So I'm happy now. I'm all Delira and Exira. So yes, it's been savage, isn't it? So, well, the current state of the sim. What is the state of the sim? Well, it's getting better for most, but there's still a few hangers on because they're still stuck on 98%. There's a few on Xbox that still can't get into the sim at all. And we have a number of people who have said farewell, Flight Sim 2020, and they've gone full hog into 24. And then we got folks who said, 24, we'll see you next year. And they're staying with Flight Sim 2020. So there's quite a bit still going on. But we'll try and kind of, unravel the unravelable this evening as we check out the news and get some updates. A lot of updates starting to come out now from third-party developers. They're kind of saying, right, this is going to take a few cups of coffee to sort this mess out. But we'll hopefully update you now. And we'll see what the crack is going to be. Right, so we shall ramble into the chat. How did your Wednesday go? It was -4, lads. When I got up this morning, I said, Jesus. Then I looked outside and I went in from my shower. I came back out, got dressed, went down the stairs, straight out of the car, straight out of the Skoda, just to kind of, morning, Skoda, how are you? There. Started it up, clear pop. She fired up, grand, not a bother at all. Turned the heating on all around the shop. Brilliant. I then went in and did me normal morning things with vitamin C and Omega because, well, I don't get out an awful lot and, well, I'm very pale and I love the sun, but there's no sun in Ireland. The sun is going to come out, they reckon, next year between 11:30 and 11:45. Make sure you're there. I don't know what day now, but just one day the sun shall be out and it'll be shining. But anyway, that was grand. Mr. Two-Tone says, would you like a coffee? Jesus, says I didn't really want a coffee. I don't go mad on the caffeine. You wouldn't think it, but I don't actually like to go mad on caffeine. And I said, you know what I'd love? She says, would you like a hot chocolate? Yes. Hot chocolate shouldn't be called hot chocolate. It should be called the Imminent Morale Booster Drink. Imminent Morale Booster Drink. It just is. You drink it and you're happy, right? So that was the wish and that was my will. Had my hot chocolate, proceeded to drive to work, -4 degrees. And the first sip burnt my tongue.
Hello there.
Nothing worse. It's still burnt. So there's dinner was lovely, but I reckon there was a part of it now. I didn't even know what it was. And then the second time I drank it, well, it spilled down my chin into the beard. What I like to call a beard, and then down right. So I get into work looking like, well, a savage, like a savage, and so much so you spill something there, Murph. Ah, Jesus! But it's all right. That was my moment of woe this morning. -4. Now tomorrow it's to be cold, but not as cold. At least we hope. But anyway, that was my drill. So, yes, right, into the chat now. Welcome in, everybody. Great to see you. You're looking well. And we'll get started here. Airwolf is in the chat. Elf, welcome aboard. Super Typhon is here. Sergeant Beast, good evening. The forgetful Larry. Well, Larry, what's the crack? He says, you're looking well, Larry. Toto2495, welcome in. Shunty McShuntface is here. Night Zepp, good evening. PH Roy, welcome aboard.
Hello there.
Captain Sickbag. 1 year older, 1 year wiser. Yes, that's right, Captain Sickbag. Hope you're well, man. Fierce Wolf, looking fierce. Yeah, and Wolfie, welcome in. Quagga UK, good to see you. Top Gun Laddie, welcome in. Cammy Niner, good to see you. Onboard Simulations, hello. Bell Bro is in the chat. Little Trader is here. Howling Crazy, a very good evening to you. Z Fox, hey. Shunty Mac Shunface says, parrot. He didn't. It was the dancing parrot emoji. Did you ever see him? You know what I'm talking about. Don't say you're not. Right. Buttons. SK Sun, good evening. CP65 is here. Who else now come in there? Someone left the door open. Tarnish Mossman, hello. Airwolf, pun intended.
Get a load of this guy.
Right. Assidious, welcome in. Vacuum is in the chat. Viper Strike, good day to you, sir. Nicep is here. 6 knots. Kieran, welcome aboard. Hope you're well. Mick Ham, good to see you. Proby Pete says, good day from Arizona. Welcome aboard, my guy. Echo Charlie is here, good evening. Muse fan bursts in the door with his forehead. He says, how he is mad jokes is. I'll be able to translate that. Good evening. Great to see you. You're looking well. Party on. Ah, brilliant. Soaring AJ, welcome in. AJH, man, you're looking well. Flying Tritz is here. Lead Ballooner, good to see you. Tango Delta, you absolute ledge. Welcome aboard, my guy. Hope all is well. Wombat49 is here. Protect the wallet at all costs, Wombat. Hide it somewhere. Yes says, evening all. The missions in career are tough. Sightseers wanting the perfect photo. It's turbulence. What they want is Microsoft Flight Sim 2004. Then they know what is to be expected, enjoying life. Yes, would you like to fly in a flying washing machine? The turbulence does be mad in your poor old Cessna. God almighty. To Blaze, a very happy Wednesday. David Stewart is here. He says, evening, Murph and all. Loving the sim now. Things are settling down. Excellent news. Jan Drace, good evening. 'Tis the news. There's Mr. Tutor. You alright? Huh? She's all right. She's all right, lads. She's all right. DCS Ducks, good to see you. Canoe Head 2 is here. Happy Whirlybird Wednesday. Indeed. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the chat. Double salutes. Welcome in, my dudes. Memphis Don is here. P.S. Morandai. Hello there. Hope you're well, man. Helrick, good to see you. Lima Kilo Mike is in the chat. Briggsy, welcome aboard. Old Veteran 965. Not hello. Not how are you. Nothing. Is it a face to go with the mallet head? It's because he knows that I can take it, then he shall give it to... I'm not emotional at all. You're crying, right? Leave your emotions in the real world. Jesus, good to see you, Scott. Hope you're well. Right, mallet face. Mallet face, Jesus. Great bunch of lads, this lot. Sweet cheeks, Jesus. Old Veteran resubbing to the channel for 47 months at tier 2. He made it all better. All's forgiven. Come back, you were great, Craig. Brilliant. Right, Black Ice Gabe. We have a Black Ice Gabe. It's good to see you, Gabe. Nutty Slack is here. I've been flying helicopters at low level around Cornwall. Nice. Goblin Zeus, good evening. Bin Monkey is here. Welcome in. Who else is here? Egged Barley, good to see you. Skip is in the house. Big Al, welcome aboard. Larry says, Janie Mac, the biggest agent of all has arrived, and he's live. Brilliant. Kev Sim Corner, good to see you, Kev. You're looking well. Drew Bannon has subscribed with Prime. Thank you very, very much indeed, Drew. You're looking well. Who else is here? Look. Sean M seems legit. Indeed it does. Now, what else is here? Rumble Snat has subscribed at tier 1. Thank you very, very much indeed. Welcome aboard. The Slick One is here. He says, Murph, you know if there is a horse, there is a... That's right, the Slick One. That's right. Right, Jesus. Right, Z-Fox, flightless stream. Walks away indifferently. No, there will be flying. We're doing helicopter stuff. That's impressive 1920s era vehicle that can actually move. Right? Do you know what I mean? Then Tango Delta jumped out of the bushes. With 10 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you very, very much indeed. And lads, if you got a tier 1 sub from Tango Delta, well, do be sure to say thank you. Insane generosity. Petrol Head is here. Good to see you. Gerald, welcome in. Now, let me see. We're catching up. Going back in time. I don't know what it's done. Flying Tris just lost the internet. Oh, Jesus. Sun Jammer is here. Hello, all. At the start is on time for Thursday. Yes, indeed. Parallel Cy Murray. Oh, Jesus. Did he say something and it gave out to him? Brilliant. Still waiting for me new PC, says Briggsy. Oh, nice. Captain Ray, good to see you. The state of the sim is strong, says Martel. I would agree. No, a bit of room for manoeuvring, but yes. Schutz is in the house. Good to see you. Ailerons into wind. The hymn has rambled in. It is. The cows updated the DA42. Did you see it? I'll say it different. Is anyone getting blocky trees around Dublin? I can only imagine what you said the first time round. If you're getting blocky trees in Dublin, it's the photogrammetry. You'll always get blocky trees in photogrammetry. You can't fix that. Do you know? Petrolhead is still missing planes. Look, Jesus. Gabe has been watching for 15 streams in a row. Look. He says, did you say you were going to do a Gigna series, Murph? Sure, I probably will at some stage, you know. That's a grand hoodie. I just bought myself one. Oh, good man, Muse. Brilliant. Now, listen, it's not because, you know, I'm in winter mode and I've double wrapped up all the take care of the instruments. Don't follow me across soft ground. But they're actually sized a little bit small, right? To make you look all kind of... Do you know what I'm saying? Make you look all big and muscular and strong and stuff, right? What's wrong with your Murph? Right? Brilliant. But yes, you can buy yourself this attire. Sometimes this is all I wear, you know. Well, Jesus. But you know what I mean? If you want to know, that is. And just to be clear on merch, right? It is expensive. I make, and this is no word of a lie, I make about €1.70 to €2.50 per item. Profit. Never go into business with Murphy, right? It's literally to cover the costs because, well, you know what I mean? I'm not like Nike or one of these lads. The new fragrance by... No, that's perfume or aftershave. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, thank you, Muse, for that support. Led Ballooner says, I'm very close to quitting 2020, so enjoyed the fly along on Monday. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Look at that. That was a field truck, right. Belbro says, Tobii setting finally in. Yes, took me a bit of time. Yeah, there is Belbro. I read it. But yes, one thing that's still great about EV, I get the car warmed up whilst laying in bed. No. Listen now, ailerons. You cannot for a second try to convince me that electrical vehicles are worth it. Yes, still keep Greta happy, but that's it. And even if Greta looked into the whole electrical vehicle, we're saving the planet, man. No, you're not. No, you're not. Right? Friggin' dinosaurs died, and that's what we use for oil. What do we do for electricity? Well, I don't know what we do, but like, it's worse, right? Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, very bad. What do we do with all the batteries? What do we do with all the batteries? Yeah, you can't recycle them. Moving on. Diesel, and well, petrol to an extent, but diesel, you know, you agree? See,
hello there.
You all agree. This is brilliant. Right, Helrick says, yeah, I'm sticking with 2020 until next year. Ooh. Ruffio says, I was nippy this morning, Murph. Jesus. They were like monkey's thumbs, were they? Right, over here, look. Now, Jesus. Energizer says, evening all, it's going to be a lot of news tonight. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Moobot timed out Stavaris. You poor devil, you. Now, let me see. Ooby Dooby has subscribed to Prime. Thank you very, very much indeed. Welcome in, man. A few things worse than a burnt tongue. Well, burns take time to heal. Right? 98 Vulcan, it's good to see you, man. Right, we're over here now. Flying tonight. Welcome aboard. Captain McCoy is here. Damn it, Jim. Belbro says, a burnt tongue, brilliant excuse to have some fresh beer. Jeez, I'd love a beer right about now. John C., good evening. I was going to leave it a month or so before I switched to 2024, but yesterday I caved in and I got it. Mostly because I miss flying along with you lot. It went remarkably well. It downloaded in about 30 minutes and most, if not all, of my market purchases have appeared by the end of the day, while I was messing about. No CTDs and hardly any stutters so far on the recommended low-end settings for a fairly old PC. Getting a new PC soon. That's great news, man. Great news. Gregor, good to see you. Biggles is in the chat. You're very welcome in. Paparazzi, welcome aboard. Now, 8-bit evolution, good evening. I couldn't read it. 8 and B's are very close together, but you're very welcome in. Connor N.I., how are you getting out? Wait, how are you? Get out of that garden. Yup, out of it, devil you. Good to see you, man. You're welcome in. I couldn't even understand what I just said. Devil Fly is here. Welcome in. Ascari Wolf. She's all right apart from having a new kitchen. Or maybe a tea master for Christmas. Oh, do you remember that, the tea master? Poor old Mrs. Doyle. Brilliant. Right, we're over here. Sean Dale subscribing for 27 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Sean. Insane support. Actorus is here. I love the new sim. It's mind-blowing. I just need my Piper Warrior in there now. Some would say soon, right? Soon. Big Al crying on the inside, Murph. Right? Sir Camsalot, my dude from Newcastle. Good to see you, man. Right, we're over here now. Light Bison. Welcome aboard. Good to see you. Who else came in there now? Iced Fire. Trees in front of my Cessna when I spawn into a mission. Ouch. Yeah, they'll do it. Every time. Every time. Jesus, I went large. Probably should have went extra large. It'll be grand, Muse. It'll be plastered onto you, but it'll be grand. Yeah, right, it'll be grand. Dangerous Brian is here. Welcome in, Brian. He says, Murph, does the missus know that there are some huge... Shh. Sorry, Brian, I've lost the connection to the communication. I couldn't be able to... The reception was bad. I couldn't make out the rest of your message. Good to see you, though, man. Jesus, don't mention that stuff. What about the Joby elf? I haven't tried that yet, actually. I have a gas vehicle, but can also get heated in from the bed. Wi-Fi is a great thing. A gas vehicle? What? A gas vehicle? Jesus. Stuff Greta, my fuel cost me £60 for 2,000 miles. Yeah, well, your face, right? You can't argue with that. 2,000 miles, though. Jesus. Love the screen in the back. Which one? Right, Gerald, good to see you. Could you please check out the British countryside on foot, please? It's very far away from me, but we'll give it a try. What about an electrical Skoda? No, I don't. No. Now, let me see. I'm Triple. Prime subscription. Thank you very, very much indeed. Welcome aboard. Now, right, we're catching up. 2020 won't be opening again unless my internet goes out. Oh, Jesus. Lee Dixon, good evening. Hope you're well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the man, myth, and legend has entered the chat. Jeppesen 2001. What? Word from the realm, Jeppesen. He says, evening, Murph. After the experience of the hire car in Vegas, I shall never, ever buy an electrical vehicle. Yes, right? Jepson, can you take us down to the shops there? Yeah, I think we... No, I can't. What? Do you remember that? That was hilarious. There we were in Las Vegas and we were going shopping for like proper grocery supplies. Hilarious. Surrounded by casinos and things to get you into trouble, and we're all bailed into a small little EV with Jefferson driving. Yeah, we're just heading down to the shops. Brilliant. You couldn't make it up. Right, now, Light Bison says, managed to get me 172 airborne. Flew from London City to Heathrow. Oh, nice. Black Void is here. Good to see you, my guy. You're looking well. I wonder, will they ever fix the non-moving propellers? I hope so. Airman is in the house. Good day to you. Hope all is well. The group flight was so fun on Monday. Was the first one I have joined. Oh, nice. Well, we're doing a group flight on Friday. Slightly larger aircraft. Well, in fact, massively larger aircraft, but the same kind of gist of it. Do you know? 01 Shamrock is in the house. Welcome aboard. You're very welcome in. Four Nax is here. Good to see you. Now, let me see. We're catching up. The intros, lads, by the way, they take about 3 2/4 minutes, right? It's like old money. You know, 6 pence. What was it? 2 and 6 shillings. Or something like that, right? Jamaumu, welcome in. Who else came into the chat there now? Eamon, 1973, says, I'm late to the party. It's grand, Eamon. We're only starting. Now, over to YouTube to say hello to some people who have rambled in. There's a few of you. In the key of C sharp. Monty is here. Good to see you. Kevin Lewis, welcome. Sparky Sven is there as well. Good to see you guys. Nick Arthur's in the house. Mark Gaming, you're very welcome aboard. John McCann, welcome in. Nappy Boy is here. How much to fly over my hometown? I want to see what it looks like. Won't cost you anything if you have the sim. Willem FS, good to see you. Jacobs is here. George is in the house. Stevie B's, welcome in, Stevie. You're looking well. Who's over here now? Look. Nice to Tech is here. David Cleary, good to see you. Podge is in the house. Lone Gamer UK, very good evening to you. Happy Wednesday. Irish Flyer, good to see you. Who else came in? That's busy, isn't it? Jesus. Mark Gaming, welcome aboard. Bert is in the house. Who else came in? Marty K, you're looking well. Paul is in the house. How are you, Paul? Royland Palmer, a very good evening. Who's this now? Lonnie, welcome in. He says 2024 works well for me. They even included the aircraft for my 2020 Steam collection. Right?
Hello there.
Look at the old car, look. Jesus. Lior Taylor, good to see you. Commander Balosh is in the house. Inns 1337, you're very welcome aboard. Fly Darren, how are you? It's bad in Dublin, is it? Byron is in the house. Evening all, not American, don't live in America, but work at an American school. So long weekend is coming up. Happy Thanksgiving. Indeed, happy Thanksgiving to all our friends viewing from the United States. Paul L says it's not working. Jesus. You should charge more. Wait, what? Heisenberg is here. It's good to see you. Who else? My coffee. Right, I thought I'd pop in and go and get some food. Oh, nice. Time Lord Flight, good evening. Hello from Tip. Hello from Tip. You're looking well. Gaming Bubble, welcome aboard. You're still missing your planes from 2020. Ooh. We'll have to look into that. Peter Jude, welcome in. Talro. Hey, Talro. US Air Force MedTech is in the chat. He says, anyone else having trouble trimming their helicopters? Yes, some of them don't work at all. Scanger Pilot, what's the crack, me old fella? Hope all is well. Imperator, welcome in. Many small airports are not available at the planner website. For career mode, is it? Probably. Kevin Lewis is photos by Kev. Brilliant. How are you, Kev? Grab your parachutes, welcome in. Helicopter flight, where from? We're going to be starting off at Casement Aerodrome in a little while. In a Cessna 172, and a career mission requires me to fly from Belfast to Heathrow. Yes, across country, what? Kaelin, looks interesting. Right, so with that said now, Adam Controls. Adam, are you actually back from Las Vegas? I only joined the stream 2.5 minutes in. Brilliant! Captain Sickbag has subscribed for tier 2 at 44. Wait, that was all wrong. Subscribed at tier 2 for 44 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Captain Sickbag. Insane support. Insane. Yeah, you got back Sunday afternoon. Did you get into Flight Sim 2024 yet, Adam? Go on for the crack. Also, I'm waiting on word back from the lads about the thing for the yoke. I'll have news hopefully later. Professor Siege is in the house. Welcome in. Jesus, lads, it's very busy. Great to see everyone. Kingsman 9965 is here. Welcome in. Is that millimeters, Murph, or inches? Huh? Who? Yeah, right. Brilliant. Hangar Studios 713 has rambled
Look
in.
at this big eaters.
You're looking well. You're looking better than that fella. Right now, twice in 1 year to Vegas. Yeah, we're not jealous at all, Adam. At all. Now, did you avail of the new Aer Lingus direct flights Dublin to Las Vegas for €479 return? Smart flies Aer Lingus. They need to sponsor me. I'd be great, wouldn't I? Mac Vision, good to see you. Right, we're going to press some buttons here now, lads. Things are going to get mad, right? I did. That was my excuse for going over. Brilliant. Right. The microphone popped. Stupid thing. Right, so we're looking at here on the screen. Well, this is an enhanced airport, right? And it's from iniBuilds. And this is that of Ibiza. We're going to be checking out two of these now tonight. I just said we'd fire up the sim at this one, just to kind of give you an idea. Well, what does an enhanced scenery actually look like? Well, hopefully, we'll see in a while, all the bits of differences that they can actually start cramming into it, including this kind of stuff. Pretty nice, right? Pretty nice. So, and the lighting is insanely good. iniBuilds have all, with their enhanced sceneries, they've completely kind of rejigged the lighting system. It is absolutely incredible. There's a fella on a bicycle. That's not part of the scenery, though. I mean, hey you down there! You shouldn't be cycling on the ramp. Yeah, my sim is broken because it's loading in 1930 assets from Red Ring Studio. How on earth did I spot him? Listen, sure, I'd see things miles away. Do you know?
Hello.
Brilliant. Right, now, how's performance in FPS? Mikkel Nelson will tell you all about it now shortly. But it's friggin' huge. It's very, very good, right? Very good. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to pause the sim, friends. Right? Because I'm over there. And we have now a tab with some stuff. That's the wrong button. A tab with some stuff. And it is time to bring over the news. Yes, friends, we have some news tonight. And a big shout out to our friends over at MSFSaddons.com. Vashko, tremendous work. And the lads over at FS Elite. Big shout out to Callum and all the lads for keeping us up to date. So, that's Greta's personal security. All right? So, what we're going to do here, we're going to have a chat about, well, the news stories over the last week. It's our one-stop shop to hopefully keep us up to date of what's going on in the sim. That's what we do here on a Wednesday. So I'll get through this as quick as I can. But some of the things we'll discuss, it's always great to chat about them then over on Discord after. Perhaps you have your own ideas or opinions. So we'll start off with, yes, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 launches. But it wasn't an easygoing launch. Far from it. Yours truly had to wait 7 hours to get into the sim, and I would be considered one of the luckier ones. You know, the some folks managed to get in without any real kind of major hassle, but other folks, it took them days to get in. Days. In terms of a flight simulator launch, this one has to be made famous to say it was a failure. It was a disaster. However, it's now starting to come right. And it's not a question of, you know, is it okay that it was a disaster? Is it not okay? That doesn't even come into it. This should not have happened. From our perspective, and indeed, I'd say from Microsoft and Asobo's perspective, this shouldn't have happened. But it did. And it can leave a bitter taste, but hopefully, give it a couple of more days, a couple of more weeks, things will start working out a little bit better, and we'll just get in and start enjoying the sim. Because then when you do get into the sim, well, there's other stuff that'll haunt you as well, right? So we're on the road to hopefully getting progress, right? That's what we want. But yeah, the servers are the limit. I mean, that didn't take any time at all. But yes, we can read into what Vasco says, but he knows, or we know, what it was all about. A lot of people stuck in the 97%. Other people just getting, you know, CTDs. Other people stuck in a queue for days. It was an absolutely unmitigated disaster. We expected better. And to be fair, I think so did Microsoft and Asobo. Asobo kind of put up the hand to say, okay, well, look, we had the green box. If you know, you know. The green box was designed to take in about 200 people at a time, right? That was the server load. They tested it. Yeah, 200,000 they reckoned should have been absolutely fine. Well, it wasn't. They should have doubled it. And when they got to that number, well, then they should have doubled that again. And then when they got to that figure, triple it, right? So it's nothing to do with the Microsoft Azure platform. This was a communications area box, let's call it the green box, that we log into. We then see the sim. The sim then says, okay, you want this file, that file, and the other file, grabs them, puts them back into the green box, and then we were to take them from there. Technically, I drew a picture. I explained this very well. Anyway, the long and the short of it is, the Asobo green box that they created was shagged. It freaked out. It couldn't handle it. And then it kept requesting it. And it was just an absolute disaster. They since added more resources to said green box. It's not even a green box. It may not even be a box. In fact, it wasn't even green. But I used it because I drew a green box. Anyway, the good news is it's starting to come better. And a lot more folks are getting in, right? Murphy explained it and the rest of us were sitting there scratching our heads. Accurate, right? Anyway, for folks who are still having issues, if you cannot get into the simulator at all, if you're still having issues, be you on Xbox or on the PC, I want you to ramble over to our Discord, jump into the Flight Sim 2024 help and support, and just tell us, same for me, well, if we can create a channel or create a thread, people who still don't have access, jump on in there. I will send your gamer tags directly to Microsoft and to Asobo to say, lads, we need to do something. These folks are stuck. Now, you'll have to go through the same rigmarole as everyone else. Zendesk will be involved. Do you meet the minimum requirements? Do you have the following drivers installed? Do you have the following, Visual C Studio, blah, blah, blah. They have to do a process of elimination. And there are some ways to kind of, fully delete the sim, shake the bejesus out of your computer and then reinstall it. But anyone who's stuck and you still can't get in, ! Discord, that'll ramble you over to our Discord. Also, if you are new here, if you want to know how to do multiplayer, I've created a new video to show you how to get onto multiplayer for our sessions. And all you need to do is into the chat, be it on YouTube or on Twitch. This is all one word, ! How to multiplayer. All one word, ! How to multiplayer. If you do that, it'll give you a link to YouTube. I've just made a video, did it last night. It shows you from start to finish. It's only about 2 minutes long. Start to finish, how to get your settings right for multiplayer. If you do that, you should be okay. So, see how we get on with that, right? So, yes, the sim had a very kind of a terrible bad launch. Within 72 hours, it was pretty much better. And come the weekend, a lot more people are getting in. But I'm very interested to know who's still not getting in, all right? The invite has expired. What? If you're stuck, just hang on, I'll type it in here. If you're stuck, just use this link for Discord. Discord.gg/TwoToneMurphy. That's how you get into Discord. Right? I'll type it in loads of times and I'll update the bot. Remind me to update the bot there, lads, if that invite is no longer valid. We'd have to change the L valid every now and again, right? Just, we like to keep people guessing. Where is this now? Discord. Yeah, we'll do this now. Discord invitation. So, save, right? And then I'll do it over on YouTube to make sure. Oh, Jesus. I'll do it on Twitch now to make sure it's working over there, right? It worked for some. Okay. Benjamin Holmes, good to see you, man. Murphy has been asked how to join multiplayer a couple of times. So I made a video. So, and if there's anything else you guys are stuck on, I will make a video, which means then it'll live forever. And it's the same. I've also managed to copy down all the different fixes and stuff that we have on Discord. I've copied all those. I'm going to just release a document to say, here's all your fixes, right? So yes, 2024 has launched with issues. We're all aware of them. But I think the general consensus is when the sim works well, man alive, does it work well. There's still a couple of problems. There's still a handful of CTDs. There's bugs. We know there's bugs. There's some cosmetic ones. There's some kind of messy ones. And then there's still a few game-breaking issues. Hopefully they're going to be addressed very, very soon. Now, talking about aircraft, well, you may or may not be aware of this. Brilliant, Kev. Phoenix, they've now updated their aircraft lineup to be compatible with 2024. However, take that with a pinch of salt. The rollout of the updates that Phoenix have managed to do for the 319, the 20 and the 21, well, it does make them compatible to at least work in the sim, but there are a number of bugs that they have to fix, right? There's a number of things. However, straight away, some of the new systems they've brought in, you can walk around the aircraft. You can't really interact with it, but they've upgraded some of the textures. The lighting is superb. They've done a lot of work already. They also have the sim rate support. Fuel flow has been reworked. Fly-by-wire adjustments. Cabin environment simulation has been updated as well. Some of the issues that you will expect. Some of the lights are dim during the day. The sounds might randomly disappear. Liveries installed via the manager lack any thumbnails, so you got to go by the name. The cockpit EFB can be unresponsive right? It gets a little bit lost, and some visual details like texture maps and the cockpit display might be inconsistent. So there are issues. However, I think most people are able to jump on and go flying with it, which is pretty cool. There's a ton of avionics updates as well. Now, this is bridged with news as well about VATSIM, but we'll chat about VATSIM at the moment. PMDG, they've adjusted their strategy for Flight Sim 2024. They've also showcased some photos of their upcoming 747. Robert Randazzo once again shared a detailed development update for the sim, and 2 updates revealing new details about ongoing compatibility challenges and plans for native Flight Sim 2024 planes. Now, anyone who looks at or reads up on PMDG updates, well, I mean, it's a whole load of news about not much, usually, right? This one, they're kind of struggling with the updates because what they're used to, it doesn't work. There was some stuff, multiple issues, visual and also technical. The main issues that they have, like most other developers, screen brightness, font rendering, which is causing elements to fail to display. The API isn't doing what it should be doing. And I'm a little bit worried over the API because all this talk of backward compatibility, the API, they didn't change. It was all about adding things to the API. So, let's see. The 777 is the most negatively impacted significant usability challenges. 737, moderately. The DC-6 is mostly functional aside from a couple of visual glitches, which is kind of good news because the DC-6 is amazing. Fixing the problems is not as simple. The 2024 product or the 2020 products were built with the 2020 development toolkit, which doesn't support the 2024 specific fixes. Microsoft and Asobo are aware of the issues and they are working on platform updates, but PMDG just cannot give any sort of a timeline. Rebuilding for 2024, while compatibility issues linger, they're moving forward with plans to rebuild its product lineup using the new development toolkit. The approach will not only resolve compatibility, but also allow the team to take advantages of the new Flight Sim 2024 features, for which there are many. The 777 is nearing release, the freighter version nearing release for 2020. Beta testing is underway. The freighter includes detailed cargo systems, operational main deck doors, and expanded GSX compatibility. For 2024, the entire 777 lineup will be rebuilt, incorporating platform-specific features such as enhanced soundscapes, walkarounds, and deeper integration. The 737, again, they've an update. Aging after 2.5 years in the market, the 2020 version will receive a small update and they'll start working on a 2024 version. The 747-100, the classic, shaping up to be the most ambitious product. They're including their own fully modeled SIVA INS system, and the 747-4 development is progressing well, with plans to incorporate this into Flight Sim 2024. As for the DC-6, a basic compatibility build for 2024 is planned, with potential further enhancements in the future. But the DC-6 doesn't like it's going to be getting the same amount of love. It makes sense. I mean, PMDG, it's their Boeings that kind of make the brand what it is, right? I will say this, though. In terms of timeline, they're not going to give you a timeline. They're all saying it's going to take kind of 6, 7, 8 months. I would expect, this is just me, I would expect to see PMDG stuff rolling out for Flight Sim 2024 probably summer next year. Probably, right? Hopefully. But that's kind of the timeline. This is not going to be a fix they have out before the holidays. It's not going to be a fix they even have out, by Easter. This is going to be summertime next year before PMDG, I'd say, are ready to start rolling things out. Unless, of course, Asobo can do something magical to make their stuff work now. So the pressure's on, right? I mean, as flight simmers, we know it's, the third-party aircraft, the third-party developers, for us, these are the ones that lead the direction in what's possible. Asobo making aircraft is all well and good. Even for Flight Sim 2024, the first-party developers, these are the guys who brought the aircraft in. Your iniBuilds, your Miltech, your Gotfriends, these are the guys that put the aircraft in there. And some of them are excellent, as in they are excellent, right? Some of them, a lot of bugs, but the vast majority, what I've used so far, really happy with it. Bar 1 or 2, everything's very good. However, it's the third-party guys. These should be just left alone to create their aircraft. And Asobo, who changed the rules a bit on how aircraft are built, we saw this with Raoul last Friday night from FS Reborn, right? Raoul explained to us this is what's required. I think Asobo need to do more. They need to get more engaged. I think they need to get more people involved on the Asobo side to better assist the third-party developers. That'll help speed up their development time in order to get the add-ons out to us. They need that. This is a breadline. That's the bloodline for them. They need this to happen. So let's fix the sim, compatibility, make the thing stable, and then focus on getting the third parties in. That's what I would like to see. But anyway, let's see what happens. Moving on, word here from Classic Aircraft Simulations. They've announced a de Havilland Comet for Flight Sim 2024. These are the guys, the CAS J3 Cub, which is a beautiful, beautiful aircraft, loads of features, and probably one of the best renditions of a Cub in any flight simulator. Well, they're now talking about bringing the de Havilland Comet to the sim. Now, you talk about, feast or famine. The Cub is tiny. The Cub would probably fit into, one of the engine cowlings, right? The Comet is a huge aircraft. Chris from Classic Aircraft Simulations shared the exciting news. The Comet 4 was a significant advancement over the ill-fated Comet 1, addressing the structural issues that plagued its predecessor. I think the wings broke off in the original. Entering service in 1958, it marked a turning point for British aviation as the nation's competitor to the Boeing 707. This aircraft was kind of like the foundation for... Do you remember the Nimrod? Did you ever hear the Nimrod? The same sort of design. Anyway... the Comet was a major milestone in aviation history. The world's first successful commercial jetliner not only revolutionised air travel, but also demonstrated the resilience of British engineering. It had extended range, increased safety, and a sleek design. The Comet 4 became a popular choice for airliners, serving all the way up until 1980. Pretty cool. And then, of course, it came on to live on as the Nimrod, which only really retired about 10 or 12 years ago. No release date yet, no idea of a price. But it's good to know that this is a project that they are working on. It is a big classic airliner, so it should be a lot of fun to try this in the sim. Moving on, Flight Sim Labs. When we know that these guys are bringing their Airbus into Microsoft Flight Sim, unsure where it's going, right? Buttons were pressed. Care 85 for 29 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, my man. G Slayer is here. Good to see you, man. But yeah, so they were showing off dynamic icing. Now, this is interesting, right? Because they're using their own icing system. And this is kind of where this is where we saw it with iFly. They're bringing in their own kind of visual effects and simulations outside of the standard sim. Well, Flight Sim Labs seem to be doing the same thing. So after months of speculation, even a recent leak, the A321 was on its way to Flight Sim. Flight Sim Labs have pulled back the curtain a little bit more, showing a teaser video the other day, showing their A321 with realistic icing and de-icing system. It's a fitting reveal for the winter season. The video demonstrates how ice accumulates dynamically across the aircraft's airframe, the wings, and even the engines. And thanks to the Microsoft Flight Sim Advanced Weather Engine, well, you can see ice building up in real time under different conditions. And it isn't just eye candy, the thing is actually simulating it, so it'll affect your aerodynamics and your performance. It looks pretty cool. Fortunately, Flight Sim Labs didn't leave the aircraft out in the cold. The icing systems are showcased in action. There seems to be an application of anti-ice fluids and systems that keep the aircraft operational. So I'll show you a quick look at it here, look. Is there music or sound? We have sound. Have a look at this for a sec. Snow accumulation, lads.
Oh, Jesus.
The icing vehicles are coming now.
This is Microsoft Flight Sim, Konski. Like snow accumulation, lads, this is pretty cool. The green fluid, the Type 4 fluid, will actually remain on the aircraft until you get into the air. Isn't that pretty cool? That is, I think that's very, very cool. And it's kind of a showcase into what we might start to expect now in the new sim in particular. So, the A321 will come as a free upgrade to 2024, right? So it'll release in 2020. And for now, it's just time to prepare for what promises to be one of the more intricate airliner add-ons for the sim. So, great news there from Flight Sim Labs. Moving on, DC Designs, they've updated their Concorde. Following the news that DC Designs were to upgrade or update the Concorde, it's now working on 1.07. The team spent time rebuilding many of the details in the flight deck, including texture art, improved detail and accuracy. Alongside this, there's now new exterior normal maps with higher resolution. Great stuff. This is 2020, and it's anyone who's looked for the Concorde to get an update, well, it's finally here. Rebuilding of many flight deck details, addition of further systems. They've also worked on the SIVA INS platform, ready to use once coded. FMC, now visibility is controlled. Fuselage UV maps have been updated. New exterior model with the normal maps high resolution. All liveries revised. An addition of Concorde prototype livery has been included as well. So that's a free update for the Concorde if you have it. Sean Dale says it's a flying brick in version 1.07, a complete mess. Oh dear. So the update has gone terribly wrong for Sean Dale. Jesus. No news, of course, of DC bringing this into Flight Sim 2024. Moving on from here, Flight Sim Studios, another developer company to give us some news on what's happening with their add-ons for Flight Sim 2024. We, of course, know that Flight Sim Studios have their 727, and they also have the Embraer, amongst others. They also have some general aviation aircraft. So the E-Jet series... and the 727, they're broken, so they need to fix them. They're still very much working on the 2020 and finishing up the E-Jets, which are going to top their list. They're looking forward to taking the advantages of the new features, but top priorities is ensuring that customers who purchase the E-Jets will get a finished product first. They're working on a custom FMC, that's top priority. Work continues at rapid pace on all aspects of the new FMS and autopilot. The custom LNAV modules are almost ready to go, and they claim that the new system has capability of drawing almost any route that they can throw at it. That's great for LNAV and VNAV. As for the MacDo, it's being recoded to C++ to be more efficient. The Lineage 1000, they're working with X-Crafts once again to model the Lineage 1000 for Microsoft Flight Sim. Just as before, the team will receive the model and artwork, and then they'll go ahead and work on all the systems. Timelines, again, Flight Sim Studios, when it's ready, it's ready. That's usually what they do. There was other news that they mentioned in some of their general aviation aircraft. The TechNam stuff, I think they're going to get an update, but I think the Sea Ray project will not be coming to Flight Sim 2024. The Sea Ray, I think, was one of the first, and it's a nice, small little flying boat. It's tiny, but yeah, that's not going to make it into 2024. So what do you do? Now, David Rosenfeld is releasing Milan Malpensa. This is coming through Aerosoft as the publisher. A new trailer for David Rosenfeld's Milan Malpensa airport has been released by Aviation lads. Alongside this, we now have solid details on the feature list, and we know that it's going to be released tomorrow. The new trailer gives us a closer look at what to expect, and we can see a digital replica of Milan's largest international airport based on the 2024 layout, plenty of detail in the terminal buildings, and so on. The initial release will be for Flight Sim 2020, and a free 2024 version will follow in the coming weeks as a free update. So, yeah, Milan Malpensa, if you're into your kind of large airports, this is definitely going to have it. As I said, it's published through Aerosoft. It looks nice. It looks very nice. And I'd be more interested to see this in Flight Sim 2024, how it's going to behave itself. But it does look like a very, very nice one, right? A very, very nice one. We won't see Ray then. See what you did. Beano Railroad, good to see you. My old aircraft, like Flying Iron 190, is having engine cutting off. Yeah, some of the Flying Iron stuff doesn't work, and we'll cover a story on that now shortly. But yeah, Malpensa looking very, very nice here in Flight Sim 2020, and it will receive a free update into 2024. So great news there. iniBuilds released enhanced Palm Springs and enhanced Ibiza airports for 2024. As previously announced, iniBuilds, they've released their enhanced versions for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. The enhanced airports, and we're going to show both of them off here tonight. Custom vegetation, ground markings, nearby objects have all been done. Enhanced models, LODs, also some new beautiful lighting. It's absolutely incredible. There are videos here, but again, we'll be showing this one off. We're actually on the ground at Ibiza here at the minute, but we'll show this video trailer just to see how it works, and we'll play a bit of Diddly Eye with this one as well, just to kind of show it off, right? So absolutely, you want to catch some winter sun? Well, Ibiza is the place to do it. I'm interested to see how these perform because with all the enhancements that iniBuilds have put into this, in particular with the night lighting, it is stunning. We'll have a look at that. All the textures have been redone. LOD has been tweaked so you don't get the weird popping we're getting on current default airports in flights in 2024. So these are now out. So you can see that the models have been updated. There's new lighting, new enhanced LOD. That's the main feature list of the enhanced airports from iniBuilds. Now, a number of the iniBuilds products, nearly all of them, I think, sold in the last 6 months, will get a free upgrade into Microsoft Flights in 2024. So the team are quite busy pushing out these updates now. But it's great to see. There's some details here that are just shocking, right? Comparisons between 2020 and 2024, how sharp the details are. It's unbelievable. And you can see here in the video where they do the comparative shots. Pretty cool, right? So anyway, the main thing is going to be about, well, how well do they perform? And we'll figure that one out now here in a moment. Both airports are now for sale. It does upgrade discounts if you already have them. If you don't have the previous versions of them, you can pick them up for about 15 or 16 bucks, give or take, plus your taxes. So both airports are out. We're going to check them out here on the Sin here in a moment. Now, is it Bijan Seasons? This is the guy who he brought out kind of seasons and flights in 2020, right? So he's made a massive mod that adjusts the tree height and vegetation. Because, well, let's put it this way. There are some weirdness of tree heights going on in flights in 2024. Well, this seems to fix it. Flights in 24 introduced a host of visual enhancements, including way better diversity of biomes for trees and plants and all this sort of jazz, oversized urban trees to misplaced bamboo forests. Well, thankfully, the creator of the popular seasonal mods for flights in 2020 has stepped in to address some of these quirks. Having built a reputation for adding seasonal depth to flights in 2020, Bijan has now turned his attention to the latest sim, bringing his expertise to fine-tuning the virtual flora and correcting some of the anomalies. For example, we can see from this picture here, showing us in Dubai, desert cities, currently in the sim, tons of trees all over the place, doesn't look terribly accurate. The changes after using this mod, well, it's kind of day or night, isn't it? It looks very, very good indeed. Also making some corrections when it comes to mountains. So these are things you wouldn't really appreciate until you see the difference. For example, we flew in Scotland over the weekend, right? And you'll see like these mountains here, it's rock. There are no trees on them. It's more kind of shrubs. So this is default 24 and this is with the mod now working. It transforms it completely. And I suspect this will actually come with a bit of a performance boost because it's removing data that you don't need to see, right? Anyway, updates for Scandinavia, Los Angeles, Scotland, and Greenland and Iceland. There's also new ecosystems showing the Shonen bamboo forest, the Black Forest in Germany. Deserts now have a bit more kind of stuff going on. And new species have been added to the likes of rainforest, including bananas, coconut, and additional rainforest stuff. Comes with a number of fixes as well. And many, many more updates coming. This is a payware add-on. So we're paying a third-party developer to fix the sim. Nothing new there, lads. Priced at around $18 over on Flight Sim or Sim Market, sorry. It's available on Sim Market. If this is something you'd like me to check out on the stream before you go off and spend your hard-earned cash, let me know. I'll buy it and we can show it off on the stream. If you're interested, let me know. Because if it is a game changer, which looking at the pictures, it looks impressive. It could be that indeed, right? Moving on, Parallel 42. Well, they've given an update on what's working and what isn't working. Parallel 42, as with many other third-party developers, their 2020 marketplace items have been now pushed into Flight Sim 2024, and they were not signed off on. That's a problem because now you have developers who, for the first time, might have new customers to say, "Hey, I'm going to grab this," and it's and it doesn't work well. That's a worry. Whether or not they'll be there in the marketplace, that's a different story. But this has increased the communications from the customer support for all these third-party developers because now we're in 2024. These are now there. We assume they work fine. We realize they don't work fine, and then we're saying, "Hey, you need to fix your product." And they're like saying, "Why is it even in there? We didn't sign off on it." Anyway, Parallel 42, Edson and the lads are flat out. How they're going to approach all the updates. So we know what's coming. We know what they're working on. Some will receive a free update to embrace, all right, to be compatible. They're pretty much the newest one. So any product that was released within a year of the launch of Flight Sim 2024 will receive a free update to fully embrace the new capabilities. For older products, a modest $2 upgrade fee will apply to bring them to a 2024 native standard, which sounds kind of reasonable. $2 for an update, sure, I mean, right? The developer has made it clear no timelines have been provided, but they are working on it. They do have a 2024 compatible dashboard, right? So we can see what's working. SimStaller is now up and running. The A320 will be made available. Flow won't be supported. If that's the free version, won't be supported. Flow Essentials will be, and Flow Pro is going to be a native version in the works. It'll feature an adjusted featured set, community widgets fully supported, but may need updates. So they're working on Flow Pro, right? And then there's the entire lineup. Taboo's not going to work. Marketplace Stars isn't going to work in 2024, but there is a link there. I'll pop this into the chat if you want to have a look at the Parallel 42 roadmap. But they are working on stuff which is exciting. So fingers crossed we get the likes of Flow very soon, because Flow is badly needed in the sim, I think. Moving on, Say Intentions announced new AI jet bridge and pushback truck interaction. This is potentially huge because any sort of pushback in the sim doesn't really work. And even GSX, that can like wreck your head. So Say Intentions have managed to do the math here. We had Brian on a couple of weeks back. We were chatting to Brian saying, look, Brian, is it possible that any of our voice commands in the sim will kind of interact with the sim? And he said, well, that's the direction we want to go, but it's not going to be easy. Well, they've done some of it already. So it will be able to interact with call the jet bridge, and next thing your jet bridge will show up, and call for pushback, next thing you have your pushback. This is pretty cool. This is the start of what I think could be truly amazing. And Say Intentions are doing some incredible work. I want to give a big shout out there to over to Blitzer and Paul here on YouTube chat, because he gave me all this information as well. They're working on ways of getting Say Intentions natively into the sim, which is pretty cool. It's either being on the CFB or in a drop-down menu, I don't know. But if you were to compare where Say Intentions are versus the Microsoft Cognitive AI voices, well, there's a huge difference in between them. Plus, if we have this sort of functionality, I mean, could you imagine if you could actually talk to your Say Intentions co-pilot and say, flaps 5, flaps 2, gear up, gear down? That will potentially change the entire realms of how we fly. FS Commander did it, but it was it kind of worked. But this could be brilliant. Say Intentions have a boot on GSX Throat. Maybe not. Maybe Say Intentions can work with GSX. I mean, that's where we want to see this thing going, right? But yeah, very exciting news. Say Intentions are absolutely not resting on the laurels whatsoever. They're flat out busy. Now, news here for FS HUD. They've released a new update with Flight Sim 2024 support. FS HUD, the popular air traffic control add-on, has released a version 2 update bringing compatibility into 2024. Alongside the update, developers have also launched a comprehensive tutorial video to guide users through the new and existing features. The highlighted version supports Flight Sim 2024, allowing users to integrate FS HUD seamlessly with the latest version of the sim. Now, what this does, it provides AI traffic. It allows you to interact with them. It is a full ATC solution, right? Realistic voices and regional accents are there. Users can now interact with ATC using their voice, making communication more realistic. This is the biggest update ever. Prior to that, it was a menu system. Press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for the other. This now allows you to interact with the ATC using your voice. This is huge, lads, right? Also has VR support, built-in map and panel integration, and even a mobile integration as well. You can see from some of the screenshots here, these guys are doing huge work. And with the voice integration, I can't pop this out as a full image, but you'll see it there. Communicate naturally with ATC using the advanced voice recognition. The feature allows for realistic hands-free interactions, making your flight experience more immersive. This is huge, but it's using its own ATC engine, right? There's a video tutorial there if you want to check it out. I'm going to open this, link it, drop it into the chat for you, because I'm sure you'll want to have a look at this product. If you do like to have AI ATC, or at least, offline ATC, It's a great learning tool. Or if you couldn't be bothered flying on VATSIM, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't. VATSIM can be absolutely incredible. Well, this will work out of the box. It has its own panel. You can do all the stuff you want, right? Have a look at that video. I've just popped it into the chat and let me know what you think. Now, also, the Microsoft Flight Sim compatibility list. We've had this over in our Discord, and also a big shout out to FS Elite. They have a full list of what is working in Flight Sim 2024 based on 2020. There's a full list over here. Again, I'll do a copy and paste. If you have an add-on and you're wondering how is it working in 2024, well, check it out. So, for example, they go by all the developers down the left-hand side. So, for example, Pyrogui, compatible. The dev has stated it's compatible. RD presets, the dev has said it's compatible. Unofficially compatible. Reports coming back from users saying, yeah, it's working okay. Or SimWorks Studios Kodiak, it's incompatible. There's an update coming soon. So it gives you an idea of what 2020 add-ons you can start popping into your sim. All right, Mustafa, good evening. Hope you're well. So really, really great stuff here from FS Elite. A massive shout out to the guys over on our Discord because they were populating their own list. Then they dragged this in and others. So this is really, really handy to be able to get all the, just to give you an idea of what's working in the sim. All right, great news there. Navigraph, we saw the update. They now have charts and SimBrief working, and it's integrated into the Microsoft Flight Sim EFB. This is huge because the EFB that comes default in the sim, well, it's very powerful. It's very good. But with Navigraph, it's way better. You can do your flight planning. You can check out your charts. You have your moving maps. You have the very, very accurate data. Again, Navigraph is a paid subscription, but this is the difference between something that's freeware or payware. I've always stood by Navigraph. I think they're doing great things. They've managed to get all the online traffic, IVAO and VATSIM now onto a moving map. And they're very soon to releasing their new PPL, a full private pilot license, a whole training module for flight simulation. And that's going to be delivered by real world pilots. And they're going to teach you how to fly as you would as if you were in the real world. This is a friggin' game changer, right? The EFB does not work in VR. Sven, at all? Because I got it working. Kinda. It was there. It does work. But yeah, it's pretty cool, right? So hats off to Navigraph, and they've a whole load of more stuff on the way. Loads of more stuff on the way. Now, GSX Pro also compatible with the sim. You just need to point it in the right direction. For example, if you have the FSDG download thingamajig over here, and well, they'll tell you where everything is and if it works and all this. It won't do it now because the sim is running. But if you want GSX, it's up and running. Great news there. Now, Inverny X, I don't know. But anyway, these are the guys who bought Sky Park. It's pretty much with the guys from TFDI Design, right? They bought the Sky Park from Parallel 42. Well, they've now made a decision of saying we're not going to update it. Ouch. In a surprising announcement, they've announced that the Sky Park will no longer be updated as previously planned following the acquisition from Parallel 42 earlier this year. The news was broke on Discord, and they just said, look, they purchased a product full of ideas, including making the Sky Park a live service, subscription-based content, and all that sort of jazz. But after conducting market research, they felt it would be better as a single purchase solution, and this was known to be the Sky Park version 3, a full ground-up rewrite that would bring new features. However, following the career mode implementation in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, they just realized, balls, we don't actually need this now. Ouch. They had planned features such as job types, medical tours, all this sort of stuff. But again, they had to question it. Do we need it? Do we actually need it? And based on the career mode and what the potential updates, I remember talking to David from Asobo over in Arizona prior to the sim being released. And all the questions I had for David, because David is the director behind the career mode, right? And it was very interesting talking to him. What we see now, that is not the end product at all. This was like, he had to get it to a certain line. He says, if I can get it to that line and people are interested, then we can continue. We'll progress it. If we don't get to that line, well, then we know we don't need to progress it. It appears that they've gotten to the line, right? A lot of people are enjoying career mode. Yes, there's bugs all over the shop, and it's hilarious, and it's frustrating. But like everything in Flight Sim 2024, when it works well, It works really well. Some of the ideas David has, and he was even listening to the likes of me, the likes of Kyle, Captain Canada, these ideas, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could do this? And he wrote the stuff down. He's like, that's a great idea. Yes. And he kind of said, look, it's very difficult for him because he has so many ideas. But he says, we had to get it to a line, had to reach that line first. So I would expect the career mode is going to go far beyond what we currently have now. And that's just by talking to the guy. Do you know what I mean? So something like the Sky Park, well, you know what I mean? It just wouldn't have been used, would it? So sad-ish news, but kind of makes sense. The VATSIM radar has launched. They're up to the 0.5.0 update, bringing enhanced capabilities to online VATSIM traffic. This is a free website you can go onto. And it displays information on active connections in the virtual air traffic network, such as aircraft moving and also airports with a controller logged in. It was updated on Tuesday and includes many highly requested features, including map settings, a search functionality, published VATSIM events, a progressive web app, mobile-friendly version, and several other changes and fixes. Among the new features is the ability to sort airfields by popularity in terms of aircraft departing, and also filter for quieter airports. The option shows all airports with at least one controller online, ranked by the fewest inbound or outbound aircraft. Pretty handy. So that's vatsim-radar.com if you want to check it out. I like it. Haven't used it that much now because I think what we have on Navigraph works very, very well. But again, if you want to have the free version of it, you can see what's happening. This is looking at live VATSIM traffic. You can see the lads there at Dublin. But if you zoom out then, give it a few moments, the map will start populating. You can see what controllers are online, what airports are online, what are aircraft doing. Clicking an aircraft, you can find everything out. Well, what are they doing? This is the flight plan. I can copy the flight plan, so on and so on. Pretty cool stuff. And it's all for free. Like, this is a website. So that's gone into the chat there, lads, if you want to check it out. Speaking of VATSIM, we know it's now compatible with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. All you need to do to update it is open up vPilot. It'll ping to say, hey, I need an update. SimConnect takes over. So vPilot, it's now updated. Flight Sim 2024 is working on it. Doesn't seem to be any major problems, right? Model matching, it's kind of struggling a bit, even if you do have the your own kind of private models in there. But let's see what happens over the next couple of weeks. The main thing is they can track aircraft. You can now get yourself onto VATSIM and go flying. Another point to consider, you should avoid using career mode whilst connected to the network, as it causes automated frequency changes. Not only that, but there's also a number of ground units, things like refueling trucks and other airports. They're starting to trigger some radar stuff on VATSIM. It's a work in progress, but it works, right? vPilot is showing as a Trojan when you try and log on. It has been reported to Microsoft. Okay, thank you, Scott. So, yeah, news there. If you're interested in jumping into VATSIM, you should be able to get in. IVAO and Pilot Edge also fully compatible now with Flight Sim 2024. So all the major networks have now reported to say, yeah, things are working. They use SimConnect to communicate with the sim. Pilot Edge being kind of the top tier. It's a paid subscription, highly realistic. IVAO was the first network to announce full compatibility with the new sim, including the release of its Altitude Beta and MTL library. You can now use the new sim to join the virtual skies with your fellow pilots. Pilot Edge also joins the list of supported Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 providers. It didn't get early access to the sim, so it's only been able to update the tester clients to ensure that it's working. That said, version 1.6 supports it, and they're also working on specific 2024 updates. That's from Keith Smith, the owner of Pilot Edge. It's now available on the 2020 download page, or by running your existing client and accepting the upgrade when prompted. We're working on a Flight Sim 24 specific download page, and then they're going to kind of update their own bits and bobs in there. All right, great news. Now, we leave the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator just for a moment, because Laminar Research, the owners of X-Plane 12, well, they've now gone into beta with X-Plane 12.1.3. A new X-Plane 12 beta now takes flight with the launch of Beta 1, which updates the ATC, the weather, and more. A new beta for X-Plane 12 was announced, and the run starts with Beta 1. You get a lot of betas, then it goes into release candidates, and then they release it, right? The X-Plane features a new built-in ATC system, which, according to the statement, received a rather extensive rework. The goal is to make the ATC a more realistic function and support a larger number of aircraft and different scenarios. For example, You can now report a transponder failure, causing ATC to ask for your position reports. Other improvements for ATC include better support for VFR flying, such as controller handovers and the ability to request flight following. For IFR flights, the ATC system should now be able to support departures, SIDS and STARS, which are arrivals, and it should also be able to paste your routes from Navigraph, SimBrief or other sources directly into the simulator, allowing you to load the routing directly into the FMS. To further enhance your interaction with the ATC, it is now possible to bind a joystick or keyboard button to start your transmissions. Laminar created a new manual that helps get underway with the new ATC system. That's pretty cool. So they're actually working hard on their inbuilt ATC. Also, the weather. Originally, the improvements to the weather system were targeted for Q1 25. However, some changes have already been added to this beta. More changes are expected. However, what we have here, improvements to its METAR and wind data interpretation. And one of the current issues with the weather system was sudden altitude jumps, causing your airplane and cruise to have correct its altitude. Laminar have addressed the feedback and the issue should now be fixed. Cloud visualization has also been addressed, with more updates coming soon. They also have a number of updates when it comes to airports and aircraft with fixes, and then they have general tweaks and fixes along the way. A lot of helicopter stuff has been added. So for X-Plane 12, they're still doing their thing. It's interesting to say the least. It's getting better and better and better. X-Plane is not a sim that's going backwards. It's moving forwards, just not at the pace of, naturally, what Microsoft and Asobo are doing. But X-Plane is still a very, very good simulator, lads. Whether or not you have time now to devil in it, I couldn't tell you. If you are interested in looking at X-Plane, I highly recommend some Twitch streamers. Durka is one of them, Brendan, and also Conti, Continuum. These guys are on X-Plane quite a bit. Dave, the odd time I think, jumps in. There's still some very good aircraft over there, but it's interesting to see how X-Plane are continuing on with their own development. I thought it was interesting. Now, another sim we haven't really looked at all, IL-2 Stormovik. The Flying Circus Volume 1, or Volume 4, sorry, has been released. So it may have gone unnoticed amid all the news coming out, but developer 1CGS have released the 4th edition of the Flying Circus into IL Stormovik. And it comes with 7 new aircraft, the Airco, the Albatross, the Fokker E3, the Sopwith Pup and Strutter, and also 2-seaters Roland and Sopwith Strutter as well. A number of new aircraft have been added, and they've updated their Western Front maps with the addition of the early 20th century Paris and its surrounding areas. And a couple of screenshots here. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at IL-2. I've never used it. It's a very good simulator, but I think the limitations for me was you can't interact with any of the virtual cockpit. You can interact with it by your buttons only. So you can bind a whole load of keys. It's a combat flight simulator, but it does look very, very nice. I watched Jay Winokur used to stream this quite a bit, and I was always interested looking at it. So yeah, again, it's another simulator doing the stuff, which is great news. As for VATSIM events, because, well, we know VATSIM is up and running, I think our own Firefly Air VATSIM lads are going for a flight tomorrow evening. Do keep an eye on our Discord. And then if there's any events happening over the weekend, well, we can see that we have stuff here. There's an event crossing the Red Sea, a thrilling virtual aviation experience as we embark on a journey from Cairo all the way over to Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. So that'll kick off on Saturday between 1400 and 1800 Zulu, and they'll have full ATC there. If you're not familiar with VATSIM, or you know about it and you haven't done much, well, do be sure to jump on in observer mode. And if you're interested in getting into online flying, it's a great way to enhance your hobby of flight sim. Well, we've ran massive courses this year and last year. We'll do more next year. We do a full VATSIM tutorial getting you from start to finish, primarily when it comes to the phraseology. What to say, when to say, what not to say, and when not to say it. It's a fully fledged course that you can do. Ramble on over to TwoToneMurphy.com. When you get there, you'll see the Learn ATC series. You can go IF4 or VF4. IF4 is going to be teaching you for like flying the airliners and so on. VF4 is for the low and slow. And if you click in on any of the series, you'll see when they were completed. We have all the series videos. These are all the streams that we did, so you can follow along from start to finish. You also have the ground school document. Now, the ground school document is a start to finish. We log in here and I'll show you. It's a 200-page friggin' document because I'm an idiot and I spent too long writing it. But it's based on my own experiences, real world and in the sim, and also so much information that you can get from online. From a lot of VATSIM folks, VAT Air was a huge help. Adam Controls, huge help, and so on, right? But it's a 200-page document, start to finish, of getting yourself, what is ATC, what is virtual ATC, all the way up to doing your check rides to be comfortable when flying in or on VATSIM. And what you learn here, it's applicable not only on VATSIM, but also on IVAO. We haven't done enough on the US. We will be doing the US stuff. I know that Scott Voigt, old veteran 965, he's looking after ATC now in the United States. And I've been chatting to Jeff Faviano. Jeff does a good bit of controlling as well. So we're going to be planning an event soon-ish that we're going to fly from Texas up to St. Louis. And we'll have 2 known and friendly controllers, and we'll work on a full training plan for that, because I know there's a lot of folks who would like to do USA flying. We haven't covered it in our stuff yet. This is primarily focused on ICAO or EASA, the European standards. A lot of it is transferable, and I do have a section on this, the differences between European and American flights. Here we have Europe versus the US differences. Some of them, call sign pronunciations, and so on and so on and so on. Then we have all the airspaces, all that sort of jazz, right? So that's all for free. Check it out. You can download it. You can do what you like with it. You can learn it. There's a full script in this for every lesson, just to explain what it shows you. For every lesson, you'll see it. The pilot, that's what you say. That's what ATC will say. So pilot will say, Firefly Air 235, holding short, runway 06 at Alpha. Firefly 235, contact Shannon Tower on 118.7. It's a full script. You're never going to get the script 100%. You have different variances depending on the controller, depending on the region, and so on. But if you follow that script, you will be able to fly on VATSIM. No two ways about it, lads. You'll be able to do it. And we did it. You guys did it. From zero to hero. Anyway, that's all there. It's all for free. And our last bit of news here before we get moving on. This is all our Firefly Air stats. We have a virtual airline, Firefly Air, and I'm starting to see some folks now using Flight Sim 2024 with it, which is great fun. Effectively, what we have, we're a very laid-back kind of a virtual airline. Basically, you can fly what you like, where you like, when you like. A couple of really nice features, because what we have, right? What we have over here, if we log into our airline, right? Firefly Air, 808 pilots, 150,000 flights. That's unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. But if we have a look at the Firefly Air portal, let her load up there now. This is our virtual airline. And with our virtual airline, we can do a whole load of stuff, right? We can do a whole load of stuff. We can check out our airline radar, don't we? These are all live flights, by the way, for our virtual airline. These are people flying in simulators, right? You can have a look at the radar map. But if we want to go in and look at the crew portal, this is where we can choose a couple of things. We have browse the routes. You can browse all the routes that we fly to. You also have a duty schedule, and you have ad hoc missions. Now, as 2024 matures, right, we're going to see a lot more kind of cross-play between both. There's loads of stuff to happen here. But for the moment, if you go into the duty schedule, for example, you can tell this system to say, look, I want to fly out of a hub. Okay, well, these are all our hubs. So let's say, right, well, I want to fly out of Vancouver. All right, how much time have you got to fly in the simulator? Well, I have 2 hours. Okay. What's the minimum distance you want to fly on any leg? 100 miles. Okay. Well, what's the maximum distance you want to fly? 300 miles. Okay, let's generate it. So this will go off, and based on the timings that you've put in, you can fly for 2 hours. You want to fly out of this hub, well, it'll suggest flights. And when you do the flights, you are awarded with experience points. And you get multiplayer or multipliers when you're doing duty schedules. It gives you bonuses. So this one here, you're going to fly out of Vancouver over to Lost River Resort, return. All right, leg 1, leg 2, they're both your flights. It's going to take you about 2 hours. And when you have all that completed with the points that you generate, well, that ends up coming into our league table, right? All our league tables are over on our website. They're broken down into all different leagues based on what pilots are flying the most. Maybe they have more time to fly versus the guys who might only be able to fly an hour a week. The whole thing is all there. Tremendous work on in the background. Gibbo, Rambog, and 6 Knots leading the development, leading all of this stuff. The 3 guys have done incredible work. Again, this is all for free. What makes this work is a program called the Landing Rate Monitor. Anyone can join it. It's free. Anyone can join this, lads. This is all for free. Again, you'll find it over on our Discord, !Discord. You'll see the link for Firefly Air. It's free to join. And the bonus, this works with LRM, so it's a program you download. It uses either FSU IPC or SimConnect. A little bit cagey with SimConnect, but FSU IPC should be working. Or if you're on the Xbox, this is where the thing gets really interesting, because if you're on Xbox, you can fly with this, and we can't connect to your sim directly. All you need to do, you would file a manual PIREP. A PIREP is a pilot report, essentially. That's what it is. It's a real world thing. So you would fill out the PIREP to say, well, this was my call sign, this is my aircraft, I took off from there on that date, at that time, I landed here, and it will log all of your flights. All of them, right? I mean, if I wanted to go in and have a look at my stuff, my dashboard or my logbook, this will look at all the flights that I did, yeah? And if I want to have a look at my profile, it'll show the map, what I've flown in the last couple of days or weeks. It shows you all the areas, last year or all time. And it populates the map to say, well, right, Murph, these are all the flights that you've done in the sim when connected with Firefly Air. Isn't that pretty cool? And you can go back and have a look at the flights. You can see what you did. What was my landing rate? What was the aircraft? What was the wind doing? And we also have achievements. You can unlock all the different countries, but you also can unlock achievements. There's a whole load of stuff here. So if you like collecting badges and so on and so forth, these are all our own ones. We have some really cool stuff in here. Our first Boeing flight, for example, we did a KLM anniversary. That was birth of an airline. We did some historic flights with Pan Am, just to give you an example. There's a ton of custom-made content in here. It is incredible, all right? Do be sure to check it out. For example, if you want to say, right, look, here's one here, for example, Storm Kathleen, be the Jesus. Storm Kathleen is battering Ireland today, so that was a flight that we could do, and it was the flight plan from Cork up to Dublin. Now, you can jump in and do that, or if there was another one, Operation Market Garden, that's one that we did a couple of months back. Here's the full flight. You can download all the special scenery that we had, and when you complete these flights, you get awarded with the badge. You can see all the participants down the bottom. These are the folks who did it, and they generate massive experience points, or XP, when you do any of these special missions. We give you loads of points, and then we're able to turn around and say, you know, shut up, news, I delete them. Yeah, that's what I do. I delete all mine. But just see anyway, what happens then when you're at the top of your league? Well, once the airline, once it hits a specific target of usually 3 million experience points, we then look to open up a brand new hub. And with a new hub that could be located anywhere in the world, then we add in new missions, new company routes, and then the whole thing starts off again. The top 3 pilots of each league get to choose by voting on their favorite airport and where they want to fly. So it's pretty cool. It's all for free. Go off and check it out. A ton of work has gone into this, and I can promise you there is so much in the planning. I've yet to tell the lads, but there's so much in the planning when I'm looking at 2024 of what is possible. Right? Going to be huge. But that's the story anyway, lads. Consider ourselves updated with the news. Brilliant. And here we are now checking out a scenery for which I'm getting a bug, because the Red Wing scenery has installed via the cloud, and it's given me a man on a bicycle. Let's not let that ruin our day. This, friends, anyway, this is an enhanced airport. This is from iniBuilds, and it's that of Ibiza. And the main fixes are, or the main upgrades are, new texture models, we have new LOD enhancements, and we have new night lighting. Now, on my screen, this is absolutely beautiful what they've done with the lighting. It's incredible. I don't know how well it's coming across on the stream, but I can tell you the lighting it's so much more vivid. It's more realistic, right? And when we look at things like textures, right? I mean, this is a bit of tar on the ground, lads. Right? It's gone absolutely nuts. Now, in the drone camera, yes, I can still get in and out of the airports, right? Which is pretty cool. If you're in walk around mode, I'm unsure if they allow you to do that. Hey, Hayden is here. Good to see you. But yeah, the lighting it's absolutely cool, right? iniBuilds, this is like their sceneries need no introduction, lads. They're always very, very good. The performance here is excellent, absolutely excellent, right? There's no stutters, there's no heavy loading. It's just it's vivid, it's smooth, it's clear, it's doing the stuff. All right. There are some 2024 weirdness when it goes on with kind of the, you know, these floating lights That's a flight sim issue. Yeah. Hey, Durka is here. Good to see you, man. Lads, Durka is the top I just mentioned earlier on. We weren't slagging you, man. We only nice things to say, but we were saying anyone interested with X-Plane, we were chatting about the new X-Plane update, the new beta. Do be sure to check out your channel. So, lads, there's Durka. Ramble over and do be sure to check out his channel. And, well, you'll see the goodness of what X-Plane has to offer. So yeah, so with iniBuilds, I mean, look at, I don't know how well this is coming across with the lighting, but as I say, on my screen, lads, this is absolutely beautiful. We're in the realms of Ibiza, which means we're in the realms of one Cat Battage and Cat Bad Cat. That's where they're from. So yeah, the night lighting here, it's superb, and the detailing that they can go into. You know, it's getting kind of silly now at this stage. It's amazing, right? So if you have a look at the airport lighting, in particular when it comes to, you know, the runway and the taxiway and all that. I mean, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Irish Gav, you finally got it running. Brilliant. Isn't that awesome, the lighting? Absolutely incredible. Now, mind your eyes as we make it daytime. The sim does this weird thing with, like, it blinds you. Ah! But it looks very, very nice. So this is what the daytime looks like. And again, I want to show you just... I mean, look at the cut of it, lads. It's a game changer. When we're looking at this scenery now and we see the sheer amount of detail that's loaded in, well, it's frightening. And if you look at what way the textures are, right? I mean, we talk about, like, Jesus, lads. It's incredible. It's terribly, terribly, terribly exciting. I mean, look at the detail on the friggin' tar, look. Isn't it amazing? Absolutely cool. And, like, all their areas have been updated with these enhanced airports, like proper grass and stuff. Like, isn't it great? The cut of it, right? The cut of it. So Ibiza, it's a beautiful place to go flying. Definitely get your summer sun, and well, it's just pretty cool looking, isn't it? That's an interesting aircraft to load in.
Oh, Jesus.
Interesting aircraft to load in. That's floating. So yeah, the area is done really, really nice. The lighting is absolutely incredible. And again, if we want to really get into messing around, right, this is where these things absolutely start screaming at you. Let's see what we can do here now with the weather. We'll make it nighttime. Shugunk. And we'll give it a bit of rain, right? A bit of rain, lads. Do one of them. Do one of them. Do one of them. Like, can we just say, in the name of Jesus, doesn't it look absolutely insane? The reflections on the ground and, like, where the lights are. I mean, look. It's just stunning what they've managed to do here. All these, everything's so sharp.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you know, it's like, it's what is real anymore. It's so sharp. Isn't it incredible? And the lighting here as well. And, like, okay, I'm in a drone camera, but, like, if you want to jump this back to where the aircraft is, right? And we get out of the drone camera and we go to me person walking around. This is what life looks walking around. You see how good the reflections are, the lighting is. Like, it's insanely good. It's insanely good. And even getting the chance to walk around. So if I jump back into the aircraft for a moment and let's slow ourselves down to where the airport actually is. Don't get lost now, Murphy. Right, so check this out now for a minute. So we're just going to drop our chopper here. Right, that'll do you. Now hop out. Get out there now as a good lad. And now we're moving towards the terminal. Like, in first person view, this is absolutely friggin' gorgeous, right? Bit of ambience. Right? Like, this is where you can really start getting an idea of what 2024 is going to be all about. It changes the experience completely. Isn't that amazing? How good the lighting is. It's incredible. Look at the textures on the ground, look. And it's just walking around. It's mad. FDA shut me lying down at work, so I get to hang. Colonel Fork is here. Good to see you, my dude. Hope you're well, man. So this is what you can expect with the enhanced sceneries. And we're going to be checking out Palm Springs next. It's nice, isn't it? Have you noticed that first person is only about 3 feet off the ground? He's quite low, isn't he?
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
It's just nuts, the level of detail, isn't it? Retriever Neil, thank you very much indeed. 4 months, my guy. Cheers, man. But yeah, this is, look, I mean, look at that. It's amazing. Now, jump back into the chopper because it's going to take me too long to walk across. Let's go over this way, just out to the front of the building, right? Right now. Ah, brilliant! Get out there now for a minute, PJ. Ah, Jesus, that's supposed to be a Skoda. Ah, brilliant. No, it's not. It's an Audi. Never mind. Can we actually go inside? I don't think so. Oh, we can go inside. Literally, it's an airport simulator. We're walking around the airport. Ah, Jesus, isn't that only deadly? Look what you can do. That's absolutely brilliant. I love this, man. This is fantastic. This is brilliant. It's ridiculous, but it's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Just walking around, lad. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Are we playing GTA or are we actually in an airport? I mean, who knows, lads? Who knows? But that's the sort of fun we can have with this. So I'm loving this. You can walk around the airport. Look how, like, that's deadly, isn't it? It's deadly. It's absolutely brilliant. So we're going to check out another airport now. That was that of Ibiza. And we're going to head over next to Palm Springs to see what the crack is all about. So we'll jump now into Palm Springs. Does anyone have an ICAO code for Palm Springs? Someone get us Palm Springs there now is a good lad. What was it? Where's this now? You spelled out your copy. Detective Sergeant Inspector Frank Drebin, right? Sky Pirated, good to see you. KPSP, Palm Springs, there she goes. There she blow now. Right, get in there now, you divil you. And we'll start off at the airport. And we'll just, we'll go to the helipad. Says departure, helipad, and load us in. Let's see what this is going to do. So this is another updated scenery from the enhanced scenery from iniBuilds, right? Can that eye tracking down a little bit. So this should load us in now and do its thing. So anything with police squad is... Did you see the video over on Discord? It was police... It was the naked gun in Resident Evil. Ah, Jesus, it was brilliant. Why is my helicopter started? Mother of God, why is it flying? Easy. Right, we're doing heli stuff in a while, but not just yet, right? Why can't I get into the chopper? Right. Anyway, leave him there for the moment. Let's check out Palm Springs, look, right? Again, another enhanced airport in the sim. And it's, look at the scale here. In comparison with those mountains inside the control tower. All the trees, bloody hell, all the trees in the area. That's superb. Now, I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. Look at the state of that. I mean, Skoda. Need I say any more? It's a beautiful thing, and we should all just sit here and enjoy it as we look at the sheer beauty of it. And then I'll drop my controller and squeeze it between my right knee and my left knee, and the camera now loses position. But before you even had time to notice, we brought it back into position to check out the Skoda. Immersion ruined. What do you mean they don't have them in America? They do! You just haven't seen them. That's how freaking sought after they are. But anyway, well, let's do some exploring here. Palm Springs, huge airport, general aviation, also FBOs, and they do some international travel here as well. Beautiful buildings. That's a signature building. Signature FBO, right? Flags don't move. Bit of an unfortunate thing. Would have thought they'd be kind of flowing in the wind, but however. Again, lads, this is all about the updated textures, the LOD, and we're going to check out the night lighting. This is really funny. So the red wing is causing all sorts of... Hello! Jolly glad to be here this time of the day. We have to move some mail. That accent was too British. You too could be driving for the US mail here around Palm Springs Airport. Yeah, that's better, right? You giggity goo! He shouldn't be there. That's the sim having a mare, right? Oh, there he goes! Ah, brilliant. You'd be swimming with the fishes, see? But anyway, well, let's check out some of the detailing here, look. And look at the text. Oh, bloody hell, lads. Look at the textures on the ground. Superb. Superb, lads. US mail. They're on the go a long time. Oh, look at that 757, look. Oh, Jesus. That's gorgeous. We need a 7.5 in this sim already. Come on, will you? Look at the gates, the jetways. Man alive. It's just... Jesus, we just walked into Port El Betsy. Look, isn't it amazing, the detail? The clarity, lads. Into the airport itself. Whoosh. I didn't say anything. I just zoomed in. There's a man on the phone, and there's Timmy and Rowena looking at things outside. Hey, look, it's an airport. Yes, dear, we're at an airport. Yeah. Jesus, even looking at that, that's frightening how real that is. Isn't it? Frightening. Well, except for the old pushback. Ah, no, me sim is shagged. I need to fix all these. How does this even happen? Why does this happen to me? I'll fix it, don't worry. Isn't Janine only terribly happy that she's there? Yes. Brilliant. Like, look at it. Detail. Business expenses. Yes, I want to expense all my business. Baggage claim. Welcome to Palm Springs. Isn't it absolutely class, though? Isn't it? It's like a scene out of something that they're all frozen in motion. I don't know. But isn't it brilliant? Call a medic. What happened? Since when do jetways connect to ATR holes? In Palm Springs they do. Hello, Palm Springs. Look at the quality of the textures. Jesus. That's incredible, isn't it? Like, it's the scenery is just getting, it's just like, let's tweak the bejesus out of it, right? She's sitting on thin... Jesus, she's very terribly aerobic looking. iniBuilds, you need to fix that. We found something wrong. Trust Murph to go over and talk to the three ladies. But do you know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. Water areas. I mean, how is she doing it? How is she doing it? They need to fix that. But anyway, give things like this to me. I will. Oh, look, here's a garden with a horse. That's a goat. Oh, look, it's a goat. Ah, brilliant. And all the ladies having did you see the goat there? Oh, Jesus, isn't he hilarious, they said. Ah, brilliant, right? A model goat. Look at even the flowers, look. Man alive, the detailing is friggin' nuts, isn't it? It's nuts, lads. It's insanely good. Oh, we're on the airside now. Nice, nice. Like, even just the clutter around the ground. It's absolutely incredible. Let's check out the nighttime lighting, will we? Guys, I'm highly impressed with Palm Springs. And look at that backdrop. Like, isn't that incredible? And like the trees around it, like this is ridiculous looking. This is incredible looking. Well done, iniBuilds, lads. You've absolutely smashed it on this one. What's the nighttime look like? It looks like nighttime, Murph. Look at the that's savage. Look at the reflections of the lighting hitting the mountains, look. Isn't that absolutely insane looking? Even out in the main road. Man alive. The night lighting in Flight Sim 24. Unbelievable. Let's come on out to this weird looking monument. It's insane, isn't it? Where is this now? Oh, look at the lighting over on Atlantic. Ah, lads, isn't that absolutely stunning? Hang on a second. This will sell it. This will sell it. Wait now. Make it rain, Murphy. Make it rain. How do I make it rain better than that, really? How do we not have rain? There we go. Look how slow the reflections are coming in, but they are coming in, look. Oh, lads. Oh, look at that. That is insanely good, isn't it? That's insane. Look at those reflections, though. Look at that big Egypt. That's incredible. That's absolutely gorgeous. And like, oh, even the tower. Jay, look at the lighting, lads. It's so immersive. Neon lights by the tower, look. I love it. I absolutely love it. They've done such a great job here. Enhanced airports. iniBuilds with Ibiza and Palm Springs. It just looks incredible. Even the reflections with the parallax buildings, look. How awesome and cool is that? They've done a great job. They really, really have. That's stunning. Look at the detail. It's frightening, isn't it? Like, it's straight out of a friggin'... It's a postcard. I wish they were animated. Oh, could you imagine if that was animated? Again, it does look like a really nice postcard, but like, imagine if they got that animated. That'd be just cool. But like, the detailing is absolutely phenomenal. I'm loving this. It does look, doesn't it? It looks incredible, lads. So again, you know, what are sceneries? I mean, sceneries are sceneries. What makes the scenery stand out? Certainly looking at this, this is a new standard, because this is iniBuilds taking advantage of, you know, the 2024 stuff, right? The lighting is superb. The texturing, how sharp everything is. You can see it. You can actually, you can see the sharpness. It's frightening. And the performance, like the performance is absolutely perfect. Not a single stutter, pause, or anything. Do you know? Brilliant news. I'm really liking this. Again, we'll go airside. Apart from that tractor that's breaking me emerging like you wouldn't believe. But even the lights, look at the lights. Like that's just a parked aircraft, but look at the lighting on it from the jetway. You guys see that? See the lighting there? That's nuts. Absolutely stunning. Great work. Great work. So iniBuilds, Palm Springs and Ibiza, the enhanced versions now for Flight Sim 2024. Incredible. Absolutely stunning. They've done great work here. Do you know? So, what we're going to do now, friends, what time are we? Oh, we're doing well. Back to our main menu, and now we're going to talk helicopters. Helicopters, we're going to do a bit of flying in some helicopters. And to do this, well, we need to have a look at some of our controls first, right? So we're going to go into our controls, and we'll have a look at the aircraft, because I want to go with a helicopter, right? We're going to configure this machine, because I want to select, I'm going to go with the passenger variant first. Give me the passenger variant, yes. And we'll go with the livery, and it can be any old livery you want. It doesn't really matter. Flight Sim, that's what I go for. Just something that stands out. We're going to save that, and this is our aircraft of choice. So passengers, we'll go save and back, and then change aircraft. That should be it there. All right. So get to the chopper. There's a couple of things we need to set up here, because we need helicopter specific controls. So when we're talking about the control profiles that we have in the sim, you have your general controls. They interact with the simulator itself, i.e. your menus and all the sort of jazz. Then we have helicopter controls. These are going to be different than what you would have when it comes to your airplane controls. So you need to create new ones, yeah? So you can create new ones. So what we're going to do here, the mouse, we have the keyboard. Just to make sure these are all set. So I have some binds for my keyboard for a helicopter. What do we have? I don't know. Filters. Let's look at what's assigned. Toggle the EFB. Set altimeter. These are all pretty much copied over from my airplane ones. Yeah, from the airplane ones. Toggle push back. There's nothing there we need to worry about when it comes to the keyboard. The controller, that's my Xbox controller. Again, there's no new setting. I have it on my normal Xbox setup. That's my binding. But for our VPC, this is my joystick. Well, you're going to see some stuff here, right? So, aileron trim left or right. You need to have a lot of trim support. Now, there's no aileron trim in a helicopter, but it's basically saying the main rotor. Can you put trim in it? And some helis have that, right? So you'll see that all of these start with helicopters. These are specific controls to helicopters. So you got to bind a couple of things. Don't worry about your left or right. Make sure you put in elevator trim up and elevator trim down. That's important. You're going to need it. Otherwise, the arm will be hanging off you. Right, so you're going to need an elevator trim up and trim down specific to helicopters. After that, you can put in rudder trim if you like. Anything with a trim, the whole idea being is when you're flying, you put in your trim inputs, that'll take the pressure off you. Yeah, should be rotor trim, correct. Should be rotor trim. But we know what it is because it's saying a helicopter, we know what an aileron is, we know what an elevator is. They need to fix this, but for the moment, that's what you want. Aileron axes, again, that's your ailerons for your lateral movements, and then your elevator for your uppy downy stuff. Longitudinal movements, right? Then the rest are just kind of different views. But make sure you want to get some trims in there. It's vitally important. The more trim control you have over the aircraft, the less you will have to do. All right. So next up, we're going to have a look at my throttle. And again, my throttle is set to helis. I have a landing gear, I have the parking brakes, throttle axes. For a helicopter, a throttle is different. Your throttle is not what makes your helicopter go up and down. That's done by a collective. The collective is a big handle that moves beside you. It's like a handbrake that comes all the way up. That's your collective. Your collective will dictate pretty much the torque of the rotors. Your throttle controls the RPM. All right? Think of it like a gearing system on your bike. Kinda, sorta. But anyway, throttle, some choppers have automatic throttles, they're already built into it. Other choppers you have to turn and you twist. So you'll often have a twist on the collective and then your collective goes up or down. And then I have my eye tracking set up as well. All right. So we need to have a throttle axis and a collective axis bound to your controls. All right. Next up then would be your rudder pedals. This is important. Your rudder axes. Now you don't have rudder pedals. They're called anti-torque in a helicopter. They're anti-torque, so they go against the torque of the rotor. Anyway, this one is fine. Again, make sure it's all set to helicopter. So you're going to have left brake, right brake if you want them, and also your rudder axes, anti-torque axes. That's what they are. So that'll allow the movement of the helicopter like that. Yes, yes, grand. So that's all done. Next up, what we're going to do, I found a bug. We're going to go to free flight. There we go. And we're going to make sure our helicopter is set up. So we should be in a passenger variant, which we are. And we're going to ramble over to Casement Aerodrome Baldonnel. This is home of the Irish Air Corps. It's a freeware scenery. It's a 2020 scenery, but it works very well in Flight Sim 2024. We're going to set that up as our departure. And I'm going to turn on some multiplayer for us here as well. Make sure all that works. Change the time of day there, Murphy, because we want daytime operations. Here we go. And we can put in just a few clouds to make it look nice. All right. Private pilot, good to see you. So the throttle axis works correct.
Oh,
should be.
Jesus.
So we'll jump in here and start our flight and give this a few moments to load in. Now, helicopter flying, you have a couple of ways to help you in the sim. This is super handy. We can use a private pilot got banned. What did he do, the Muppet? Hang on, let's have a look. Oh, he's hilariously funny. What a Muppet. There's always an idiot, isn't he? Come on, Muse! You grabbed him. So here we are loading in with our chopper, and we'll just, we'll get a few things kind of dusted off. Right, we're ground here. Right, so we'll calm everything down. We have a number of people on the ground here already at Casement Aerodrome. So we're looking at our helicopter. This is the HS-125. It's based, of course, on the Airbus 125, which was formerly known as the Eurocopter. The Eurocopter 350, the Eurocell 350, I think it was, 125, or more commonly known in Ireland as the Squirrel. Right, very, very popular aircraft, used the world over. It's used in search and rescue, law enforcement, utility, you name it, this thing is used. And it's not a very new helicopter, it's a relatively old chopper, right? So, the differences between flying a chopper and fixed wing, well, there are differences. How we fly is very different because how the aircraft reacts. But if let's just remove this remove before flight jazz first, right? That'll get us somewhat up and running. So on the 125, remove the rotor, remove the jet exhaust, come down under, remove the tow, and right on the nose, the pitot. And this weird thing here, this little flag, that's called a wind flag or the wind sock. Basically, it's a small bit of string that'll indicate the direction of the wind. All right. So we'll jump inside and let the camera go bananas. And that'll fix itself up there now. So here's my head tracking turned on. That's doing what I wanted to do. We're going to pause that for the moment because I want to jump into this view here. And I want to explain to you, right? Now, it's not all about physics, but I want to explain to you, right? If you're looking there at the rotor, that's slightly moving. You could probably set up a rotor brake as well, right? Yeah, your man showed a digital picture of or something. But can you see the shape of that rotor? What does that remind you of, lads? Looking at the shape of that rotor. Do you see the shape? It curves over the top and it's very flat on the bottom. What does that look like? What is it familiar of? Anyone yet now can give us that one? It looks like a wing. It looks like the wing of a fixed wing aeroplane, right? So if we were to compare this, we come back over to our trusty 172, and that is the shape of a wing. It's also known as our laminar flow, the airfoil, yeah? So it looks like a wing. Okay, well that's telling us something. That's telling us that the helicopter, that looks like, I don't know what that is, the helicopter rotors have that shape because when they spin, and the velocity at which these spin is frightening fast, it's creating a wing. When they're spinning at full speed, it almost becomes a solid object. It creates a wing, right? So you have vortex state and all this sort of stuff. We'll get into that later on in other lessons, teaching what it does. But effectively, think of the main rotor when it's spinning. Well, that is your wing. Not only is it your wing, but you'll see when we start adding in the collective, you'll see the rotors tilt forward or backwards. And it's kind of working the same way as an elevator. That wing is spinning, it becomes one full wing, right? And if you want to turn, well, they'll turn left, they'll turn right. We should be able to control it here, right? I don't know how well modeled this is. Let's see here now. It is modeled, so if we have a very close look here, you can't see it until the chopper is actually moving, right? We can see on the center assembly here of the main rotor. See how all this is moving up or down. So that's the collective down. And see how they're turning? See how the rotors are tilting? Look. Collective up. That's changing the attitude of the wing. Or in this case, the rotor. But when it spins, let's pretend it's a wing. All right? That's what that's doing. So that's going to affect the attitude of the wind hitting. It's either going to go under the rotor and push us up, or it's going to go above the rotor and push us down. The same is going to happen left or right. So that's the thinking behind it, right? Now you might be saying, that's all grand, Murph. What about the tail? Well, the good news about the tail is, your tail is to counteract your main rotor. The tail rotor moves at twice the speed as the main rotor. It doubles up on it. So it stops the thing from spinning around. Now we also have control on the rotor. If you look at that, again, it shares the same type of wing shape. Yeah, that same sort of laminar flow. So that moves at twice the speed as the main rotor. Right, okay, it makes sense. You know, that's spinning that direction, longitude or latitude. I just got a crash in the sim. Adonio crash. What? Well, it's still working, so we'll say nothing. So that's what the tail rotor does. All right? So if you have problems in the aircraft, it means that if you lose control, you got to check your RPM. And more importantly, this is where your anti-torque pedals come in. When you start moving your anti-torque pedals, they'll affect the pitch and in some cases the speed of what that tail rotor is doing. All right, there's different designs, there's different stabilizers on the back of the aircraft. You'll see them on different models. The 125, relatively straightforward. This here is called a skid plate. It's a protective plate so you don't bash the tail boom. It's called a tail boom, right? Antic Gaming, welcome aboard. Thank you for the follow. And, well, thank you for the, whatchamacallit? The raid, man. The raid. Thank you very much. With this particular helicopter, she's on skis, meaning that we don't have an option to taxi it on the ground, otherwise we'll make a mess, all right? So that's the general consensus of how this thing is going to work. In an aeroplane, when you give it full throttle, what's a tendency to happen? What usually happens? When you give full power, what happens? We get a phenomenon called torque, but also a P factor for your torque, yeah? The aircraft starts to drift because the torque of that spinning propeller is turning the aircraft into that direction. It's moving that way, so it drags it in that direction, right? The same can be said for a helicopter, so we need to be very aware, once our throttle is where it needs to be at in terms of our RPM, and we start bringing in the collective, or lifting the collective, i.e. we want to start flying upwards, we have to be super aware that the torque, the physics of the aircraft is going to want to bolt us in a certain direction. That's where your pedals come in, or a twist. That's your anti-torque pedals. Think about it. Anti-torque. Makes sense. Right. Super duper. Let us jump in. And I'm going to show you some of the differences. This chopper is probably set up now, don't do that, Murph. Settings. This is probably set up on easy mode, as I like to call it. It is. So we have helicopter assistance. If you go into your assistance, if you're new to this in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, go this way. Turn on the assists, because they've changed the flight dynamics in Flight Sim 2024, right?
Hello there.
I recommend you do this. Mohammed, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. So turn on the assisted cyclic, the assisted tail rotor, and the assisted collective. Now you might be saying, Murph, what's the cyclic? The cyclic is your joystick. It's called a cyclic. The helicopter pilots are a breed unto themselves. They get to name things the way they want. Yeah. But that's what they mean. It's a cyclic. Think about it. It's a giant disc on top of the aircraft. That's your rotor spinning. Becomes a cyclic. And that's what the cyclic does. It interacts with that. Right? Anti-torque and Uncle Mark. Now you got a filly. So if you want, turn these on. And I'm going to show you what it's like flying with these on. And I'm going to show you what it's like flying with them off. With them turned off, you have greater control over the aircraft. You can get it to do pretty much what you want. With them turned on, you're limited, but it will give you a more stable flight. And it'll give you time to start learning what the aircraft can and cannot do. All right? All right. So here we are in the 125. To get ourselves set up, familiarization, this gadget down here, that is our collective. That's our collective. This here, that's our cyclic. And them fellas down there, well, they're our anti-torque. All right? If we have a look over here, if we look for a throttle, well, there's no real throttle on this that I can see. Some of them are twist, some of them aren't twist. So we just got to be careful to make sure that your buttons are bound correctly, right? It depends. If you're new to choppers, I used to always say, leave the assists off, but I know it's enough to scare folks away from flying choppers. And I think Flight Sim 2024 is so much more better suited to flying helicopters. Turn the assists on. That's my recommendation if you're brand new to it. Turn them on, right? Got a couple of handles up here, fuel shut off, but also we have what's called a rotor brake. Rotor brakes are important because they stop your rotor from kind of windmilling and all that. Again, if you're unsure what this stuff does, you can turn on the tooltips. They'll tell you. Each helicopter, a little bit different. They're kind of the same, right? So what we're going to do with this aircraft, we're going to start putting some life into it. So we've ensured that the collective is in the down position. Cyclic is clear. We've removed our before flight. There's no other moving parts of the aircraft, unless, of course, we have the rotor brake on or off. In this case, leave it alone. We're going to turn on the battery. Battery coming up. Generator will stay off until we start the engine. Fair enough. Anti-collision lights can come on. The horn is a horn warning. Beep, 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 beep. You can turn that on or off. Fuel pump is a switch down here. Turn on the fuel pump. You'll hear that starting to move. Avionics, they can come on. Where's my mouse? Some aircraft, I know with the EC135, they can start it with the avionics, and there's no worry. They have they have an ECU bus in there to protect the thing if it breaks. This has it here as well. Meaning we should be able to start this with the avionics on, yeah? So it doesn't absolutely shag it. Now, avionics are very, very dark, so we'll turn them on today. Brighten them up, we can have a look. So what we need to monitor here, we have our fuel on the left-hand side, then we have our torque, and we have our N1. Coming down, then you have your engine temperature and pressure, and then you have your electrical, and then you have your fuel flow. All right? Pretty cool. Rotors are static in multiplayer, yeah, it's a huge problem, isn't it? But they will fix it. So we're going to reset our baro, reset our directional indicator, so we're going to make sure that our magnetic and our heading are synced, which they are. And we can just put our heading bug to direction of the runway, or in this case, direction of the tower here at Baldonnel. And to start off this aircraft, more options down the side here. Wipers, mirror de-ice, sling, hoist. You can mute the alerts under 100 feet. Switch your comm nav, your float arm the floats if you're going for a water landing, your Accutest, and also an engine crank. Don't worry about those for the moment. Fire test, press and hold, comes up on the screen, fire engine, that's all working fine. So what we're going to do, we're going to make sure, that's just your environmental controls.
Oh, Jesus.
We're going to make sure that we're set to idle. That's fully down. Up to the top, we have our main engine start. Flick it on, close the guard. Now we go to where it says crank, and we're going to crank. Right, she's starting to move. You'll hear the sounds, you can see the end run starting to rise. And this will come alive. This will shake the bejesus out of it, right? The wind vane on the front, this is highly important in helicopters, that's why you see it. This will give you an indication of the wind direction. Helicopters, like aircraft, they like pointing at the wind. If you're not pointing at the wind, you just make sure you're ready to react once you start picking up a bit of power, because you'll have to instantly react to what the wind is doing. All right? So we'll go from idle into flight mode. Everything's coming up here nicely. RPM is coming up nicely. We're now going to turn on our generator, put the horn on as well, and we can turn on our pitot heat. Alright, we got a good start. So we turn off the fuel pump. From outside, and if we concentrate on what the rotors are doing at idle, right? If we start moving, oh Jesus, if we start moving around the cyclic, she shouldn't be moving that much, but you can see how the rotors move around, yeah? So, I don't get a sound of the chopper. You might need to do there's a fix to get the chopper working, right? Now lads, this is all about taking your time. So, whatever controls your anti-torque or your rudder pedals, be on the ready. We're going to start increasing the collective. Nice and slow. And you don't necessarily have to look at your instruments. The throttle is automatic on this aircraft. What you're doing now, you're scanning that horizon line. That's where your eyes are going to be fixed on now, because once you keep adding power in, nice and slow, you're going to get some torque. Then you have to react to your torque. Right, so as I'm adding this in, you can see now she's trying to hunker down, so we can bring that back a little bit. And now we can see the torque. She's trying to turn. We're going to correct that. Keep adding in tiny, tiny bits of collective. We've a small bit of wind there, so we got to watch for that. And now we've lifted off. We're now off the ground, all right? And we try and keep things as calm as possible, just by holding our controls, tiny, tiny inputs. And you can see if we jump outside, we're about a foot off the ground. And this is where your training really starts, right? If you can keep control of your aircraft at this altitude without hitting the ground, this is what they do in the real world, by the way. They'll teach you to hover at about a foot, right? If you can do this, it makes it a lot easier the higher up you need to go, right? So as we're holding station here, I have to aim off slightly, so I have to put in a small bit of right cyclic, i.e. right joystick, because that's what the wind is trying to blow me. So I need to put the rotor into the wind a little bit, alright? So if I start adding in a little bit more collective, that'll increase our height. I'm now going to anti-torque to the left and start pushing the nose down. Not too high and not too much, nice and gentle. And it's going to allow me to taxi forward. If you find yourself drifting left or right, put the nose down to pick up your momentum. It'll pick up your forward-facing speed, right? So something like that, nice and easy. Bit of anti-torque in here again. Nice and gentle. It's all about the slow movements, right? And if you have something like Tobii working, well, now is a good time to use it, right? Before you drop the chopper down. Why isn't this working? Come on, Tobii, do your thing. Doesn't want to work. Now she's working. Right, okay. So you can see where the movements are and how easy or how not easy it is to move with the chopper. The collective is number one. If you can figure out how to keep the helicopter somewhat level, well then you're experimenting now with the rest of the controls, the rest of the inputs. Your anti-torque, and then your forward movement on your cyclic, maybe side movement on your cyclic. That's what it's all about. Just be careful if you move back, the chopper can go backwards, and that reverses your inputs. Alright? So we'll turn nice and gently here. Nice and easy. We're going to line ourselves up with that runway. Again, taking our time. Bit of forward movement. And again, using the assists, it nulls the controls something fierce. So you kind of have to exaggerate what your movements will be. But at least it's enough to kind of start you... it's teaching you ever so slightly how the system works, right? So we're kind of hovering here now at the bottom of runway 22. And, well, we're going to start blasting, right? So, to blast, collective is going to be increased. Nose is going to be pushed down. And you hold the attitude. Holding this attitude, give it a moment, your airspeed indicator will start jumping into life, which it has. And we'll try and maintain our altitude for this. Airspeed is now coming up onto 60 knots. Again, you continue to push forward. Try and keep that vertical speed as neutral as you possibly can. Quick look right, we're looking good. Quick look left, we're looking good. And we'll start our climb once we reach about 80 knots. We're climbing here about 1800 feet a minute. Collective is good, monitoring our temperatures and our pressures. And we can now just start. We don't need to worry about the pedals. Let's just start rolling gently to our left over the N7 here, parts of Sagarth, and we're going to head back up the N7. We have a visual reference point. It's a big quarry. It's just up here on the left-hand side, and we're going to head for that quarry. Again, keep an eye on your vertical speed. You can bring your collective down a bit to null out your vertical speed whilst maintaining your attitude and holding roughly 80 knots. But it's trial and error. You're constantly on the controls. So we're not going too bad here. Our speed came up there a little bit. We're hitting nearly 90 to 100. Vertical speed is now pretty good. And we're heading in the direction that we want to go. Quick check to the left. There's our airport. Should have a number of people taking off, which we do. And as I said, our first landmark here is the quarry. The El Kilsaran plant. Alright? Now, depending on the wind, your aircraft attitude could be leaning that way for level flight. She could be leaning this way for level flight. That all depends on what the wind is doing, yeah? Now, if we want to slow our velocity, our forward momentum, this is always a bit of a trick, right? Yeah, don't worry about the route, lads. It's shagged. The route is from last Monday. If you want to slow your vertical movement, this is what you need to do. And it's all about balance. You're going to start lowering your collective. Bring the power back and watch your vertical speed. Keep your vertical speed at 0 as you lower the collective, right? Now don't lower it too much, otherwise you can enter a vertical ring state. You don't want that. That's a bad day at the office. So you're lowering your collective. Keep an eye on your RPM that you're not going too little, and just try and keep your vertical speed at 0. By keeping your vertical speed at 0, look at your indicated airspeed. It's dropping very fine, right? Or very fast. Now our vertical speed is dropping. Add in your collective to counter it. And now we should be hovering level. Increase your collective until you bring your vertical speed to 0. And if we now look outside the aircraft, we're now hovering dead straight. No forward momentum. You can see it out the window. We're not moving. We're now hovering perfectly. Yeah? That makes sense? And don't worry if it starts moving ahead of you. Again, keep an eye on your instruments, your forward momentum. Allow the aircraft to kind of move back a little bit. That'll slow it down.
Hello there.
Again, you're holding your collective so you're not picking up speed. Lower your collective if you are. It's a balancing act. And this is where the training comes in.
There.
You have to get used to this, lads. There's no easy way to do it. There's no one button that'll hold you. This is training you to enter a hover. And entering a hover in a helicopter is the coolest feature of a helicopter. Alright? Many thanks for the follows there, lads. This is a 2024 default helicopter. This is the 125. So we're kind of nearly almost hovering. We've a bit of forward momentum now. Looking good, lads. I see you all hovering there. I'm going to start moving back towards the quarry. So again, my vertical speed, gonna drop that. My forward speed, make sure everything's 0. I've entered the hover, bring back up my collective to neutralize the rate of descent. That's looking good. Balance everything, quick check to make sure we're not moving forwards, we're not. And now I'm going to start inputting a small bit of anti-torque, basically my left rudder pedal. Nice and slow for this. So we're turning, but we're still in our hover, alright? So the assists that I'm using, it's assisting us with our cyclic, which is our joystick, our collective, and also the throttle. So that's what the sim is trying to look after for you. So it's calmed them down. It's taking the sensitivities way out. Alright? Okay. So for this, we are going to head towards the quarry. So again, nose down. Watch your vertical speed. So you'll have to add in a bit of collective. Otherwise, just be aware you're going to lose altitude. Or you could gain altitude. But you got to keep an eye on it. Your vertical speed is super important. The main things I'm looking at here, lads, as I'm flying, the main things. My vertical speed is down here in the bottom right. My indicated airspeed is on the top left. They are the two most crucial for when I'm flying in a helicopter. And then 80% of the time, or even 90% of the time, it's looking out that window. Because I want to see where I'm at in relation to the scenery, other aircraft, the horizon, so on and so forth. That make sense? Let's hope so. Now, if we go back to have a look at the aircraft, because we're pitched down to pick up speed, yeah? So if you look at the aircraft profile or the attitude, but in particular, look at that main rotor. See, turn that off. Right, it's off. See how the angle of attack is on the rotor. It's pointing into the air, meaning that it's cutting into the air. Think of your prop in your plane. It's doing the same thing. It's biting the air, meaning that you're going to pick up speed. All right?
Hey, good buddy.
That's the idea there. Many thanks for the subscribe. Welcome in, Terry. So that's our current state at the minute. Now, if you let go of your controls, it does that. Don't let it do that. All right, so we're just going to what are we going to do? We're going to head over to Tala, right? So what's awesome about Flight Sim 2024, they've added in 80,000 helipads. 80,000 of them, right? So you're not going to get bored. So if we want to head to where Tala is, where we're going to give ourselves a bit of a turn here, you can use a bit of anti-torque. Think of your coordinated turns for a fixed wing. It'll turn your aircraft an awful lot quicker. So we're going to ourselves turn around here. So many choppers in the sky there. Look, looking great, lads. So we're going to head towards Tala Hospital, right? Now I know this neck of the woods anyway, because I'm familiar with the area, but we're going to go back out onto the N7, we're going to follow the road up, and we're going to swing a right just before we get to the Bellegarde Road, and that'll bring us down towards Tala Hospital, right? I just wish I could spawn cold and dark on a helipad, yeah. Well, can you not? Can you not do that? No. Yeah, make sure you're not on wheels going to Tala, because if you go to Tala with a set of wheels, they'll rob them, right? So our VRF or our VRP for here, visual reference point, is going to be this here, just this area there. That is the red cow. So we're going to go hard right when we visually see that. And this will fly us over Newland Cemetery. That's Newland Cemetery. Keep turning until we pick up the Bellegarde Road. And lads, we know the Bellegarde Road. Remember I showed you the Jacobs factory where they used to have the old Tala airfield for the Irish Air Corps? Yeah? So our speed is good. Altitude is about 1,000 feet. We're looking good. And now we're looking for Tala Hospital. Now we've got a couple of landmarks in and around Tala. You have a football stadium, right? You have the industrial area where we are. You have a shopping centre called the Square in Tala. But we just continue on up the Bellegarde Road. And we're going to be keeping our eyes out to the right-hand side. That's where Tala Hospital is going to be. Alright? So continue on. Everything's looking good so far. Quick check out to the right-hand side. I see the hospital now. Now, when it comes to landing, so much timing and preparation is required. So we're going to pause here. Turn off my eye tracking. Hopefully it works. So let's go in and inspect where we're going to land, right? Over on the right hand side, here is Tala Hospital. And you can see the helipad right there. That's custom scenery, so the helipad is safe to land on. It will get a little bit mad looking. It's the limit of photogrammetry, lads. It's going to look kind of shite on the ground. But from altitude into Tala Hospital, well, we know the crack. Okay? Now here's the ticket. Never ever try and make an abrupt landing with a helicopter. With airplanes, we'll always say, it'll be grand, we'll jump it in there, it'll be alright, I'll be able to fix it. You can't do that with a chopper. You need to be planning your descent from very, very far back. There's no windsock, no, it's incredibly annoying, ducks. There should be a windsock there. But anyway, what you're looking at here is, we need to plan our descent. It's going to be a very slow descent. Helicopters do not like to be flown directly over the target and then drop down. They can do it, but you need to be super aware of VRS. The helicopter will enter a vertical ring state or vortex ring state, and it's next to near impossible to get out of that. It's effectively a stall in a helicopter. Effectively, right? Because the vortex ring state, it's like the blade is no longer chopping the air. It's like a stall. It's like that wing shape has stalled. You won't really regain control. You can add in loads of power, but you can break the engine. So we need to be careful here. We're looking out for all the obstacles around the area. We need to be super aware of the wind speed, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to try and come into the area, descending and controlling our forward momentum. Nice and slow, but that's what we're going to try and do. If you're approaching it and you know, without if you think, I'll fix it by doing some extreme movements, forget it. Not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. We need to plan this, right? So we'll go back into our views here, out of pause, and now we're going to start moving in. Again, I'm going to lower the collective, bring the nose up. Remember, I'm focusing on my vertical speed. I want my vertical speed to be at 0, and that'll bleed off my airspeed. Yeah? So if we're looking at it now, vertical speed is holding. Airspeed has now dropped. And just marry up the collective with my vertical speed, with my airspeed. And if we have a look around the chopper now, well, we shouldn't be moving forward. We've now entered a hover. Great news. So, small bit of anti-torque, bring us around to the right. Easy does it. Again, don't rush the controls. Flying helicopters is a very, very slow affair starting off. Once you learn them, you're grand. There's that stadium, by the way. That's your visual reference point. That's Tala Stadium. So there's the square Tala, the shopping centre. It has like a square and a pyramid on top. So I'm now I'm maintaining altitude. I'm going to put the nose down because I want to pick up a bit of forward momentum. Doesn't have to be too fast. 20 knots is going to be fine here. Hi, Gibbo, good to see you. They should really model Gibbo Ireland into that stadium. It's all there in the square. So again, lads, when we want to slow down our forward momentum, focus on your vertical speed, keep that at 0. Yeah? And tilt the aircraft back a little bit, but keep your vertical speed as close to 0 as you can. That will absolutely drain away any forward, sideway, any momentum you have, right? Alright, easy does it now. So we want to be descending and moving forward ever so slightly. I'm probably a little bit too high here. I'm way too high. Okay, so we'll go at it again. We can overfly the helipad, right? And again, we're keeping an eye on what the wind is doing. Now, the wind seems to be blowing dead ahead, but we'll keep an eye on things. There's the helipad down there. We got a load of people on it already. Great stuff, lads. I'm just going to circle above. Again, I'm watching my rate of descent. We are descending. Small bit of a turn coming in. Even lean it in a bit. Keeping an eye on the helipad. Keep an eye on our speed. And we're going to drift out a small bit to make life a little bit easier. So we're going to pick up a little bit of forward speed. And we'll turn around and go at it a second time. You've loads of buildings here, so you need to be careful, yeah? Is the idea to use the elevator trim to help manage? Yes. So if the trim is working, which I don't believe it is in this aircraft, you would trim opposite to what the helicopter is trying to do. Alright. So again, we'll turn it around here. Easy does it. Again, keep an eye on the vertical speed. I'm climbing slightly, but I am bleeding off that speed. That's what I'm trying to do. Alright, now we're dropping down. Keep an eye out for that crane. Bring the vertical speed up a bit. We're dropping. Easy. Easy. Just watch that crane and we'll come in this way. Now, depending on the aircraft as well, you're going to get used to some of the visual references. For instance, I'll always use the bottom right glass. That's how I try and plan where I'm landing. That'll show me where I'm landing, yeah? Other helicopters, they have auto land systems. Super handy. They've auto takeoff, like the H-160. It's brilliant. Isn't there an indicator to tell you where you're going to land, i.e. what's beneath you? It depends on the aircraft, Gibbo. Okay, so we're looking better here. We're descending. Our forward speed, we're not looking too bad. Small little adjustments. The wind is behaving. Small little adjustments. Get ourselves onto the helipad. Collective coming in now because I can see what's happening. A bit more collective. Easy now. Bring up the nose a bit. More collective. We're kicking up dust. That's always a great sign to let you know that you're about to land. Keep moving forward. We have a ton of choppers here, but it's grand. Maintain that hover coming in. Nice and slow. Keep the nose pointed down so we have that forward momentum. We're looking good. And now, bring back up the nose. Stop the forward movement. Hold the heli. And then set her down. Doesn't have to be butter smooth every time. Now that's hard to do because there's a million other choppers there. But we're very, very close to hitting it directly onto the H. That's precision flying. Do you ever see what they do at the White House? They can land on dinner plates. They can put the wheels down on dinner plates. That's how friggin' accurate it is. That's obviously easier to do, you know, without a whole load of other choppers there. But you get the idea. You get the idea. So, here's Tala. Now, leaving Tala, this is hilarious. I'm just going to get out of everyone's way, right? And I'm going to show you what it's like flying with the assists turned off, right? So I'm just going to get out of everyone's way here completely. And give me somewhere that I can just take off from without upsetting half the folks. Where have we got around here? We'll go over to Tala Stadium. So, ramble over here. Mind the buildings, Murph. I'm going to ramble over to the stadium. We'll use the surface of the stadium for a takeoff. Because it should be fairly flat, right? Should be flat. Mr. GUK, thank you very much indeed, my guy. Cheers for the subscription. 2 months. Right, easy does it. Jesus, Kipper, will you ever tell them to water the grass out here? It's just shocking bad. Right, hold the nose, bleed off the speed. Easy, 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 easy. Easy, Murph. See? See? Okay, we're looking for a gentle put down, but there is a weird shape in the middle of the field, so we gotta be careful. Easy. 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 Picking up some dirt. Watch the old torque. Alright, set her down there. What's that lump behind me? Okay, it sorted itself out. Right, for this, lads, I'm going to turn off the assists, and I want to show you the difference when you fly without assists, right? The South Stand is looking mighty. Brilliant. When we turn off the assistance for helicopters, the cyclic, the tail rotor, and the collective, this will change immensely how you control the chopper, right? And I want to show you what happens here. All right? So, same crack again. Collective coming in. Watch the anti-torque. But now everything, the sensitivity is like, holy moly. It's very, very sensitive. So we got to be super careful here, right? Right. So, collective coming in. Again, I'm waiting for the anti-torque. She'll bite. Starting to bite now. Easy does it. Easy does it. See how much more sensitive she is, yeah? Easy does it. A bit more collective in. Just get us above the stands. There's a big floodlight there we don't want to hit. We'll aim it right in the middle. Start dropping the nose down. And we'll start moving out of Tala. So this is with all the assists turned off. But again, it comes down to how gentle you are on the controls. Test Pilot, thank you very much indeed. 35 months, man. So this is with the assists turned off. Now, it can throw you if you're not used to it. There's new heli physics in the sim. I think they handle way better. But there's a little bit of getting used to it. The 225, for example, that's a machine altogether to learn, right? So what we're going to do here, lads, we're going to head up towards the Cattlebrewer Barracks in Rathmines, and we're going to land on the helipad in the main square, right? So again, I'm doing the same thing. It's once you're in stable flight, I mean, you can pretty much sit back, get your, get your vertical speed into position, and you're just kind of cruising, right? So my collective, I'm reducing that collective to maintain speed, but also to level off my vertical speed, right? So here we are cruising. We're nice and slow. It's great to see so many choppers, lads, I gotta say. They're not for the timid. They require a lot more discipline. But I promise you, that feeling you get when you do something right in a helicopter, it's amazing. It really is. And again, it opens up the door to just a totally different flight simulating experience. Choppers may not be for you, but I promise you, give them a try and see what happens, right? Yeah, you'll see so much more flying in helicopters. You absolutely will. So I'm following the where am I? I'm South County Dublin. I'm going to head up there towards the canal, and we're going to ramble in towards Rathmines because there is a helipad noted in Rathmines in Cattlebrua Barracks, right? The Brua. So we're heading up there. So airspeed is looking good. We're at level flight. We're holding around 90 knots. Just bearing in mind when we're planning to land, we gotta like really slow things down, right? Nergan TV, welcome aboard, man. Many thanks for the follow. Again, you got to be careful where you're going to be setting the chopper down. Are all helipads equal? Not really, Gibbo, because some of them are at angles, some of them are on top of buildings, some of them are out by lighthouses, right? When it comes to their materials and whatnot, yeah, you know, some of them get very wet and they get very slippy, especially out in the rigs, and that affects you. You think you're down, you're not down. But by and large, I think they've 12 or 13 different variants of helipads in the sim, and they're procedurally generated. So I'm not sure will you get the exact same helipad the next time you go flying. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's pretty cool. So remember, this is where all the assists turned off. We have a helipad outside the office with patio slabs. Nice. So we're looking for Cattlebrua Barracks. Should be up here on the left-hand side somewhere. Let's have a near look. I think that's it there on my left. That looks like the Brua to me. So again, I'm going to start lowering that collective. Keep my vertical speed as close as I can to 0. And by keeping it at 0, you'll see that our airspeed is going to start dropping off. Right? Yeah, that's the Brua. That's the armory. Right. So we're going to land it down here in Cattlebrua. So again, watch your vertical speed, watch your forward momentum, and you can use your anti-torque pedals here just to kind of get you circling in. I've got a visual on the landing spot. Easy does it now. We're descending nicely. We're keeping forward a little bit of forward momentum, which is going to be great. As I said, choppers don't like just doing straight up, straight down. You got to be very aware of your controls and engine power and all that jazz, right? So again, a little bit of a turn here. Keep our forward momentum up, but not too fast. You can see it dropping off a little bit. We're under 40 knots. This is nice and controllable. As we're flying over Cattlebrua, we're going to go onto the square. Watch your speed. We can bleed off that speed. Again, using my vertical speed indicator to help me out. We'll start a bit of a turn here again. We don't want to stop our forward momentum, not just yet. Nice slow movements. Here's the armory. So onto the square. So we can see the square now dead ahead. We can see our helipad dead ahead. And now it's all a matter of maintaining this descent, right? Anti-torque at the ready. This is not going to be easy. You want to keep a tiny bit of forward momentum, but not too much. If you feel yourself getting faster, nose up, collective out. If you feel yourself getting slower, nose down, collective in. Looking good. Anti-torque is doing his stuff here. So far, so good. Easy on the anti-torque. A little bit more forward momentum. Nose down a bit. Help us out. Okay, we shagged that completely. Easy, Murph. Easy, Murph.
Hello there.
Jesus. It's a lot easier if there wasn't other choppers. Right, easy does it. Gentle movements. Nice and easy. Gentle movements. Right, hold it there. Hold it there. Alright, dropper. Jesus. So that's using all the assists turned off. It's an awful lot more difficult, right? But the advantages are, lads, it gives you way more control over that helicopter. Because you can literally start throwing it around the place. When you've all the assists turned off, I mean, you can do great hammerhead turns, you can do tail spins, you can do all that cool stuff.
Hello there.
Right? Big Alia, it's a lot more work, but it's great flying. Yami Hasha, thank you very much indeed. Welcome in. Hey, Twar August here. Good to see you, mate. But yeah, outside Mahila watching you. It's if you're starting off, turn on the assists because it'll wreck your head otherwise, right? Yeah, if you're working up a sweat, that's heli flying, lads. It's brilliant with the assists turned off, and you'll have an experience where the whole thing is shagged. I'm not doing this ever again, right? But stick with it. Keep the assists on for now, and look at maybe, you know, as you're learning it, lads, as you're getting more comfortable with a and every helicopter is different, so keep it on, right? But as you start getting better and more comfortable, well, then start turning off one assist at a time. And that'll get you, oh, hang on, it's doing this movement now. Okay, I'm going to teach myself, how do I counter that? Yeah? A helicopter is basically, you're counteracting forces. An airplane just friggin' flies, man. I mean, that's just gliding. A helicopter, you have to kick the crap out of every force that's trying to hit the helicopter. Keep them all at bay. You're controlling the elements and the forces. They're so much fun, right? They're so much fun. So, I would say the first one to do assisted cyclic maybe, and assisted tail rotor. Definitely have them on starting off, you know. And if you're going to learn a new chopper, just learn a new chopper. Like you'll see what sort of control I have over this machine now if with the assist turned back on, right? So check this out. This is just pure wrecking things, right? So I'll give it a moment here. Tobii needs to do his thing. On Tobii. Really? Come on, Tobii. Anyone else getting issues with Tobii? There we go. Right, so with the assist turned back on, I mean, look how much I control this thing around the place, right? I mean, we can give it absolute socks here. But the gas thing is, when you learn how to fly the choppers, you'll be able to do this with the assists turned off, right? And like, we're not even going for like dangerous landings. The wind is calm. It's very, you know, it's very nice and gentle and calm here. You try putting this out onto a ship. You try do this on the side of a cliff. They're freaking nuts, right? So what we're going to do now, we're going to head out towards the Garda headquarters, which is out towards the Phoenix Park. That's our second stop, or our third stop rather. So we'll fly across the Liffey. We'll stay going here, and then we're going to head out towards the Garda headquarters. So we've gone from Baldonnel, Tala Hospital, Cattlebrewer, the Garda headquarters, and then back to Baldonnel. So we're over the canal. This here is St. Stephen's Green. That's what we're flying over. Here we have the River Liffey. There's the central bank just there ahead of us. Then you have the forecourts there on the left hand side. You have O'Connell Street and the Spire just coming up here on the right hand side. That's the GPO just there in front of us. There's the Spire. There's O'Connell Bridge. So as we fly this direction, we're just going to fly out a little bit. We'll get ourselves onto the North Circular Road and hang a left, and that'll take us out. That red building over there in the distance, that is McKee Barracks.
Hello there.
Hello there, CJK, welcome in. So we want to head out towards the Phoenix Park. It is one of the largest public parks in Europe. You have the Wellington Monument out there. Where's the cheapest pint? In Dublin. Not in Temple Bar anyway. Definitely not in Temple Bar. So,
Hey, good morning.
so that's McKee Barracks down there. It's a beautiful built barracks. British design, British built. The Irish took it over in the 20s, but a very unique style of building. It's super. Hard left then is Guinness's. That's where Guinness's are. So as we circle around the back of McKee here, we should be very close to the Garda College. That's right behind McKee. Almost certain that's it there. We'll double check it though. Cheapest pint in Dublin is Limerick. Weatherspoons for $2.50. Is that a thing though? That's usually full of young people. Easy doesn't know. We're over at the Phoenix Park. Dublin Zoo is just there on the left hand side as well. They have the Courts of Criminal Justice or something like that. If we straighten up here, I wonder did they model the that's the Garda College or the Garda headquarters, isn't it? I wonder did they model the other one? Did they model the helipad out at RTA, I wonder? I'd say they did, do you know that? Because there is one in, there is a helipad at RTA. Oh, I don't see it. Is that Garda headquarters? I think it is, isn't it? Almost certain it is. Hang on. Maps. I'm fairly sure it is, isn't it? Garda HQ. Garda HQ Dublin. I'm almost certain it is, because the civil defence used to be up that neck of the woods. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Right, so we'll go in and do a landing at the Garda headquarters. Unpause that. Easy now, chopper.
Hello there.
Hello there. Welcome in. Moffat Toaster, good to see you, man. If they come out and tell us, have you any idea what speed you're doing in your vehicle? Then we'll know we're in the right place, right? Yeah, it's just across from Kilmainham. It's on the Phoenix Park side. Alright, we're looking good. There's Dublin Zoo. I wonder if there are any giraffes in there. Did they put any animals in the zoo, I wonder? Imagine if they did. That'd be absolutely brilliant, wouldn't it? That'd be just brilliant. Easy now. There's the Wellington Monument. We're coming up into the back of Houston Station. There's Guinness's across the pond or across the Liffey. Met a Garda sergeant the other day. Nice! In Texas, God, that's pretty cool. Thanks, Roy. We'll have a look. Alright, easy does it. Alright, sorry descent coming in. Watch your speed. My tablet is now in my way, but it's alright, we'll fix that. Mind the trees. Is there an actual helipad there, lads? Oh, there is. Easy now. Watch the building. Bit more forward momentum. This one doesn't look like it's procedurally generated though, does it? Okay, they flattened it based on the terrain and that, but interesting. Well, there's our H. Well, we won't plant on top of the old little cabaret there, but we'll get the idea, right? Right, we're down. You're doing well, lads. Photogrammetry has its limits for sure. This will keep the cops busy, wouldn't it? Okay, so next up we're going to head back towards Bal. So we're going to go out over the Phoenix Park and we'll see, can we touch down at the back of Áras an Uachtaráin. That's the Irish White House. So power in, anti-torque. Yep, see Daisy. Do you know what's actually great to do as well? If you fly out to Dalkey Quarry, it's down the south side, but that's quite nice. Let's see if there's animals in the zoo. Sure. I doubt it very much. I don't see any animals in the zoo. Not a single one. Imagine if they did though, wouldn't that be hilarious? A buddy of mine used to work in Dublin Zoo, and whenever they close up the zoo we go meeting for pints. The stories they'd have, Jesus. There was a pub just down the road called, I think it was the Furry Glen or the Furry Bog. That's where we used to go drinking years and years ago. I was a young fella. Right, rambling up at the back of the Phoenix Park. Big building coming up on our left hand side. This here is Áras an Uachtaráin. This is the home of the president. That's where he lives. Again, photogrammetry is having the absolute crack with that. I was in there before. It is only gorgeous. They had the nicest curry eggs I've ever tasted in my life. Curried eggs. Now, the Air Corps used to bring the Dauphin out here. And when Mary McAleese was president, and Mary Robinson as well, in fact. And they used to land out here. So they used to bring the chopper from Bal, go out, pick up the president, bring them back to Bal, and then she'd jump on the government jet and go off somewhere. So this is off the back of it. Now, it looks absolutely horrendous at low level. It's photogrammetry, right? Yeah. It's a great bit of gas. If you get a bit of altitude, you'll see the building. It's actually very, very nice. The whole Phoenix Park, by the way, it's a stunning park. It's beautiful. They do concerts in the park. You also have the American, what do we call it? It's not the embassy. The American residence. It's called Farm Lee. Beautiful. Get a bit of altitude here. Just look back. That's Áras an Uachtaráin down there. Like, it's really nice. It's very similar to the White House. Very similar. It's bigger than the White House. I'm just saying. American Council, yeah. It's nice, isn't it? You can look up various things online about the Áras an Uachtaráin. It was an Irish guy that designed the White House. It was. Right, okay, let's get out of here. We'll head down towards Farm Lee, I suppose, while we're in the park. Farm Lee is out this way, I think. We'll find it now in a moment. You can get your lunch and all out in Farm Lee. Is that Farm Lee? I think it is it? I'm almost certain that's Farm Lee. Civil Defence have a building up here as well. And you have the old fort, you have the old magazine, but that's back up the other side. Spin around here a little bit. Jesus, the photogrammetry is based on when Bloom was on, look. That's mad. That's Bloom on in the Phoenix Park. So this was, the photogrammetry was recorded in June, look. That's the layout for Bloom, isn't it? Or some sort of a festival. It looks like Bloom, doesn't it? Jeez, I never noticed that before. Anyone else noticed that before, no? It looks like the Bloom Festival. That's mad, lads. There's Farm Lee. It looks like Bloom, doesn't it? It is. You look at all the gardens and stuff. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Hey, Pilot Peely, good to see you. Right, let us head out towards the strawberry beds under the bridge of the M50, and then we'll shoot home, right? So remember down this way. Do. Watch your speed now. So this area is known as Strawberry Beds. It brings you into the back towards kind of Clonsilla and Lucan. Kinda. Do you remember Fort Lucan? Anyone ever go to Fort Lucan? So this is the bridge of the M50 just before you get to the toll, heading northbound. Dublin Airport is way up there on the right hand side. So the Hermitage golf course is there on the left hand side. Is that the Hermitage? I think it's the Hermitage. That's there on the left. We're going to try and get under. Oh look, the cars drive under the bridge. Ah, that's hilarious. Jesus. Right, Murphy, don't die here now. Easy. Under the bridge. And at the other side. Nice. Anyone else make it?
Hello there.
Is anyone else going to try it? Streamer Vids, welcome in. Hey, well done, lads. You did well. You did well. Man, look at all the road traffic here on the M50, look. Isn't that amazing? We're up by Liffey Valley here. Jesus. The side... Hang on, is that Liffey Valley or Blanche? No, that's Liffey Valley. Look at the size of Liffey Valley now. Jesus. Streamer Vids, hello from Donegal. Hello from Tipperary. Hope you're well. Jesus, Liffey Valley is massive in this, isn't it?
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Jesus. APU, thank you very much. You scared the bejesus out of us. Right, we're gonna scoot down the M50. Is that Wheatfield Prison there? I think it is, isn't it? Is that Wheatfield? I think it is. It is. Then you have the silver granite then. Where's the granite? That's in Palmerstown. That's over there somewhere.
How soon can you land?
I can't tell.
You can tell me, I'm a doctor.
No, I mean, I'm just not sure.
Or can't you take a guess?
Well, not for another 2 hours.
You can't take a guess for another 2 hours?
Thank you, Scott. RTE News. Lots of Aegis and helis fly under the F-50, right? But lads, you get the idea. You want to start off now practicing with the assist turned on and just do these sort of flights. Find a region with a couple of different helipads and plan, you know, you want to go to each and every one of them to check it all out. This is the Red Cow, so we're going to hang it right here at the Red Cow. It's called the Red Cow because there used to be a big red cow there, so they called it the Red Cow roundabout. But then they finally fixed it. There's the Lewis. And then we're back onto the N7. And we'll head back down this way. This will take us out toward... We follow this road, it'll actually bring us to County Limerick. You follow this road, it'll take you to Murph Manor. But we're going to head back towards Baldonnel here now. Streamer Viz, thank you for the bits. But as I say, lads, the whole idea behind this is turn the assists on.
Dude, have you been
just pick one chopper. Right?
I've been drinking like a mad idiot.
Just pick one chopper. The 125 is a great chopper to get you learning. It's quite forgiving. And just with the assists on, plan small little flights, right? Louis Fitzgerald is there, that's right. The Green Isle Hotel. And you know, when you start building up a bit of confidence and you start getting comfortable, turn off 1 or 2 assists and do the same flights again. You have to put a little bit of time into it. There's no other way you're going to pick up the choppers. You have to spend a little bit of time. They fly differently. You need to apply a different train of thought. Your controls are going to be different level of sensitivity. Your inputs are going to be quite different in a helo than they are in your fixed wing, right? Think fighter jet to the Blériot. Very, very different. And again, when you want to land, make life easy. Don't land on the ramp. Take your chopper in, aim for the runway, and try and taxi it. If you can do all your controlling from a couple of feet in the air, you're absolutely laughing, right? Sad that other player rotors don't rotate. Yeah, it's really bad, Pilot Peely, isn't he? Or isn't it? Like, they will manage to do it soon, but yeah, not just yet. So here's Casement Aerodrome. I'll show you what I did in the VR video. Every other Saturday in the summertime, Baldonnel would host a wedding down in the officers' mess, right? And well, the lads, what they used to do, because they were pilots, they used to send up an alouette with a bottle of champagne and a big box of dairy milk tray, and they used to fly towards the back of the officer's mess. They used to winch down the winchman. He'd run up and give the bride an old peck in the cheek. He'd shake hands with the groom, give him the bag and baggage, and then they'd head off. It used to make for a great photo op every other Saturday. And when they used to do this, of course, I used to stand in my front garden watching. So this is they would have taken off. They'd have flown out here over Bagot House. It's the big kind of house out in the middle of nowhere, right? And at the back of the officer's mess, we'll come in this way. So we're going to come down by married quarters. That's Ford's Land Rover there at the minute. Again, separating the collective back. There's the back of the mess. Easy now. Right, bring that speed up. Or back, rather. There's the mess. Easy, 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 easy. Rate of descent is good. We're slowing down our forward momentum. Good. Drop the nose down a bit. Here's the hostel. Alright, and here's the mess. Okay, so there's cows in that field, look. Cows in the field. So this is Jeppson's rendition of Casement Aerodrome. It's an absolute cracker. So I want to show you here now as you hover in over the officer's mess, right? I used to live in that house on the right hand side. The last house on the right hand side. That one just, I'll show you now. Try and enter a hover here. So the Alouette would hover over the little ring here and then drop the dude down by the a winch, right? That was my house just there. 18 years, from 0 to 18, that's where I lived. And Jepson even has a Skoda parked out the front because he's a legend, right? That's where I lived, that was my house. Isn't that mad? So they'd hover over the mess, drop your man down, they'd do the manoeuvre, everyone would be outside the front, you see. And they used to get the photos, great photo op then, you know. And then when they're finished, they'd ramble. That's where the Bremen Bar is, by the way, lads. The real life Bremen Bar. That's in the officer's mess. So on our Discord we have the Bremen Bar, but that's the real one. So we'll come back out to runway 22 and we'll taxi in. We'll try not to set it down. I need to pause the sim to make sure my telly doesn't turn off, and then jump in again. Is it still there? The Bremen Bar? Yeah. Bremen is still there. Alright, so we're going to go for runway 22, and then we're going to try and just taxi in. Easy now. Hear that rotor slap? Alright, keep the hover. Bit of forward momentum. And we'll follow the taxiway in. This is what the Air Corps actually do. They would rarely set down on the ramp. Taking off, yeah, they might go straight out, but usually they actually use the taxiway. Because it could take a few minutes to get clearance. You don't want to go too high, keep this low as you can. They want you under usually kind of 20 feet. That's the way the Air Corps lads used to do it anyway. So we're taxiing in. I need to fix my sim because, as I said, it's loading in that Red Wing stuff, and that's just hilarious. I'm getting all these old vehicles for airport music or airport vehicles. Now, is there a space over there for us to park? Not really. Yeah, there kind of is. Well, we don't need to. We'll go up the other end. We'll go up the other end. So on the main ramp. Easy does it. I once watched an Alouette fly into a hangar, turn around and fly out again. There was a bet on one night in the bar. Jays, you couldn't do that now, lads. I also remember one year the Canadians brought over some Apaches, and was it the Canadian? I'm almost certain they were Canadian. They brought over Apaches and they had a bet. And the bet was, they said that they'd be able to cut the hedge at the back of the officer's mess with the rotors. They did. And then the Irish said, well, we'll fly our helicopter into the hangar and turn it around. And they were like, rubbish. And they did. Hilarious. Right, we have sat down. So as we're sitting here, we can now drop the power. Engine switch off. Avionics, they can go off. Peter, he can go off. Battery, we'll be turning you off now in a moment. I think that one, is that roto? That should be a rotor brake. Now, usually you don't engage that until your speed is right down, right? That's a challenge for you, the hangar thingy. I think we can only fit in the main one. I think the rotors will break in the other. I can do it in the Alouette. Now usually you don't engage the rotor brake until you're down well below 40% on your RPM. But that's your rotor brake. You can also assign a keybind for your rotor brake as well. Because when it's windy, if you're sitting here, that rotor is going to spin no matter what way you do it. She's going to spin, right? Right, that looks good. Systems are now off. Battery off. Avionics should come off. Don't know why they're not off. Generator off as well. That'll kill them. Horn off. Anti-collision lights off. And thus concludes our helo flight. What did you think, lads? Is this something you're going to try and do a little bit more? Like chopper flying in flights in 2024, lads, it's so different than 2020. And not everyone is into... Come on, camera, will you? Not everyone is going to be into the chopper flights. I totally get that. But if you can spend a bit of time, learn them, have fun with them, man, it's definitely going to change how you fly in the sim. It really, really is. Ireland has some phenomenal scenery for helis. Taking off out of Baldonnel, flying up to the quarry where we were, hang a right, head into the mountains, over Sally Gap, come back into the right-hand side, you come up the back of Blessington, in over Nace, and then back to Baldonnel again. Nothing like a Mach loop, but it's a beautiful flight to do in the sim. Do you know? Absolutely beautiful. Jepson, I cannot wait to see what you're going to do with Baldonnel in 2024. I imagine you're probably going to go the direction of payware because the opportunity now is absolutely friggin' nuts, isn't it? I'm just saying, putting ideas in his head, like... Look at the cut of this, look. It's pretty cool though, isn't it? This is a freeware airport, by the way, lads. Bala's looking great in the sim, isn't it? And I say there will be... this is free, lads. This is free. There will be a new version of this at some stage in the future. Because I know Jepson wants to work it out. I've been trying to get a trip out there. Jesus, who's that devil in the biplane? He's gone. Brilliant. Brilliant. So lads, I want to thank you all so very much. Next week we're going to change it over to a different helicopter. We're going to try a different part of the world with a different challenge, right? Because we've all new things in the sim. We have helipads. We also have oil rigs, which is a total game changer. And of course, we also have some vessels now, some ships that we can land on as well. And we have some other dangerous areas. So next week, we're going to change it up. We're going to pick a different helicopter, probably the 225, learn some of that, get it up and running, start it up. And I'll plan a kind of a relatively short route, something like this, just to keep us going for about an hour or so.
Hello there.
Because it is a little bit different on a Wednesday. Usually we cover the news and we're covering add-ons for the whole night. Usually a bit of Murph line as well. All that will be coming back, don't worry. Just for the moment, though, we kind of have this. So, hope you really enjoyed it. Friday night, that's our next group flight, kicking off at 2000 Zulu. And we're going to be flying the Airbus A400M, the Atlas. We're doing a flight out of Belfast over to the Isle of Man and then over to RAF Bryce Norton. We're going to be learning that airplane inside and out to the best of our abilities and have a bit of fun while we're doing it. So, my thanks to everyone for joining us in this evening. And again, any questions or issues or problems, do be sure to check out our Discord, !Discord. And that's where we'll do it from there. All right. So we'll see you on Friday. Take care now. Bye then. I'll see you soon.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
You didn't use your indicators. Electricity must be expensive in your truck, is it? Christ! Oh no! A terrible accident! Jesus! Did you just... Did you just... Oh, I nearly passed out with the laughter. Did you just see what happened? Jesus. That's... Me, drive stuff. Well, I do have a reputation of driving between the ditches and keeping... Like, it's a speed limit. It's not a target, lads, right?
What the hell is that?
Nothing. That there is a figment of your... Imagine who pressed that button. Jesus. That
What
there...
the hell is that?
Nothing. I don't know what it is. I don't put stuff there. I don't know what it is. Excuses now in the chat quickly. That's... Over there. Oh, sorry, something is there. Ah, Jesus. Medic. Oh. There's nothing to
Look
see.
at this big Aegis.
Oh, Jesus. There's nothing to see. No. There's nothing to see at all. Oh,